Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. That was an intro.
Welcome, Jeremy. What'd you think about that intro?
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Well, everybody watching, we have a guest tonight. This is Jeremy McDonald of Wildfire Cigars, and I've known
Round of
him
applause,
for a number of
everybody.
years. Yeah, he is a badass. I love this guy.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. So I guess if you want just to start off the live stream, maybe just introduce yourself, talk about your history with cigars, talk about your brand, talk about, all the cigars that you have and everything. If you want.
I'm gonna do the interview like I did with DJ at the trade show. That was
perfect. You got your boxes? You got your boxes ready to go?
Got my boxes. Here's my cigars. I was like, I never done a super awkward intentionally interview, so he just got to be the lucky one that I did my first.
Oh, I was so happy that you did too. I'm like, I could have fun with this.
And that's perfect timing. There's nobody better than DJ for that, man. That was perfect timing, dude.
Plus, he had a cool magnetized, little microphone that you couldn't see through my beard.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't see it at all. Little green light just.
All right. Well, I'll do the short and condensed, or you just tell me to shut up, and then
shut up.
All right, we're done. Wildfire. Let's go. So my name is Jeremy. I've been in the industry 20-something years in certain capacities, from retailer to sales rep. And then I was a part of starting Caldwell Cigars, for those of you that know that. And I worked with Robert as the national sales manager and partner in the brand up until 2021, when I launched Wildfire Cigars. So I launched at the trade show, or the PCA 21, but kinda, because it was really just me with a backpack walking around. I wasn't actually like selling yet. I was kind of just getting people samples and stuff. So this last trade show. Well, it's my second official trade show then. So I don't know. The brand we got 3 core lines. You got Revivalist, Wanderer, and the new release, Arteois. 2 of those, the Revivalist and the new release, are out of Hoy de Nicaragua. And then I'm also using FTC, the factory in Honduras, which is Cavalier's factory, for some projects. So yeah, I mean, ta-da.
No, if I can jump in though, what made you decide, like, okay, I need to go off on my own and it's time to leave here, put all of these cigars in a backpack, sell them out the trunk, and do this my own way?
Well, part of it, it was like 2019. I was kind of getting the, like, what am I going to do next kind of itch, because I was like, what else can we do, like with Caldwell, or what can I do? And I was getting offers to go that would be lateral or for bigger companies, but doing the same thing. And I was like, I just don't. I had always said to like Robert that would, like, pretty early on, like this would be my last rodeo with another brand. Not because I intended to have my own brand, but just because I was like, it took so much out of me. And like, to do that, yes, I was a part of the brand, but I mean, like, you just have to put so much time and effort and blood and sweat and all that. And I was like, I really don't want to make other people this much money anymore, And okay. So for me, I was like, what else am I going to do? I mean, in one regard, because it's like my entire work experience now as an adult, I've been in the cigar industry, and I do love the cigar industry, but I was like, I don't want to open a shop because I live in California, and that sounds like a deplorable idea to me. And I was like, I don't want to go work for someone else. And so it was kind of just like process of elimination that I was like, well, I mean, I did this once, you know, as a sales rep. I worked with Christian Aroa. And when he started CLE, that's how I met Rob. But it's like I had built it up on the West Coast, so a brand that had no distribution. And then I did it on a national, and then international was a part of that in building with Caldwell. So I was like, I know people, like I think I have good enough relationships that I could get a good factory behind. And so it was really just like, it was just time to do my own thing. And so cigars are like where I was like, that's hopefully enough people will like what I like.
Yeah. And you've built relationships over the years, you know, doing what you did before to where it made it more easy to do what you're doing now. Like, you know, getting your cigars made at Hoy to Nicaragua, you know? Like,
yeah. What's funny is when I called that, I'll tell you, that's a fun little, like when I called Juan Martinez at Hoya, and I was like, hey, this is Jeremy. Like, I want to make a cigar and I'd like you guys to make it. And he's like, so you want to do like a Lost and Found series? And I was like, no, like I want to do my own brand.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and then he was like, does Rob know about this? Are you doing this behind his back? And I was like, wow, like you're so proper. I'm like, actually, he does know. Like he was actually the only guy that knew. But they like vetted me. It was so weird. They like talked for a while about like, you know, their history and their like what they're about and who they don't work with a lot of people and, you know, the whole like song and dance. And then they called me like 2 days later and they're like, we will make your cigars. And I felt like it was like a mafia initiation because I'm oh, they're letting, you know, like, oh, they're letting me come into their like family. And
you got the kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, like I should be sporting an Adidas warm up, and when I go in, you know, kiss the ring and stuff. But like it's awesome because like they don't do a lot. I mean, they do a couple, you know, some smaller projects, but I mean, outside of like Saka's stuff, some of Omar, like Fratello's, like they don't do a lot of brands out of that factory, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to go to them.
Yeah, awesome. Just such a long history brand.
Yeah. So it's like cool that you got this kind of legacy behind this bearded white guy that doesn't have like, you know, like my parents were not from Cuba and, you know, all that. Yeah. So it's like, I personally don't have the legacy in that way. So it's kind of cool that like my cigars get to have that story because of the factory.
Yeah.
All in all, how difficult do you think it is to get your foot in the door like that? Like, do you feel like that was just like some golden goose moment where you got through? Like, fuck, the door just opened up for me, or what?
I mean, as far as like with Hoya or just doing a brand?
Honestly, with Hoya, but just doing a brand also, like just in general, like getting your foot in the door like that.
I mean, you know, if you got some cash, you can probably get most factories to make you something, right? Because they're not going to necessarily turn away business. But I was looking at it more from the perspective of like, I want you to work with and help develop this brand in like,
right.
And it's like, I want to earn access to like the cool shit. And like, you know, like I've been in factories and I want to, so it definitely helped. But I mean, like, it's even with the past, you know, 10 years being on the road and having relationships with retailers, like it's brutal. Like, you know, from the time that I like when Caldwell started, it was kind of like the perfect storm, the right time, the right place, the right energy, and it worked, right? But we're just in such a different era of cigars, and the quality of cigars is so ridiculously high. Like now it's like, how do you cut through, and how do you why is this retailer gonna pay attention to your brand over, like, it got me in the doors, right, the relationships, but that doesn't make it sell to the consumer. So I mean, like,
Right.
if I didn't have, like, I talk to guys that are like talking about starting a brand and they don't have that, I'm like, dude, you're fucking insane. Like I wouldn't, because it's not like it's just been this, oh, Jeremy's been around, let's smoke his cigar. Like it's yeah, I'm starting back at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you get into the aesthetic of your cigars? Because I finally visited your website last night, and it made me want to do some more cool in-depth videos on one of your sticks that I got, because it's dope, man. All your artwork is awesome.
I would like to take credit for that, but I can't. That's all my that's all Jacqueline, who, if you guys were at the show, you would have met Jacqueline.
Yeah.
But so like we just kind of went with this whole like aesthetic of kind of like, we didn't want to go like and make a rock and roll brand and like feel like with Skull and Bones. That stuff's all been done, and it's like and like, but I mean, I come from like playing in punk bands, and that's like my upbringing, and I still play music, and it's like what I do for my own enjoyment. And so like we knew we wanted to encapsulate that, but then also we wanted to kind of encapsulate the idea of the like kind of the outdoors, you know what I mean? That it's like, it's a cigar is just a, you know, an add-on to whatever you're doing, right? Like you're going fishing and you want a cigar, you have a cigar. It's not so much about, it's not so much about what you're smoking, but it's like all these relationships. I mean, like Matt and I, you know, like we met over cigars by being in this, and all of us here. And that's kind of the whole concept, is like, you know, you're sitting around a campfire, you're just getting to know people, and you're having conversations, and eventually they're going to get real, and you're going to have a real conversation. And then from there, like, that's where relationships like are cultivated, or different ideas. Like my whole social, religious, everything changed from working in this industry just by like looking at people and watching and listening to them talk, and, you know, it kind of broadening my perspectives. So that's kind of the whole thing, is like, let's just make a brand that, like, you know, is fun, kind of tongue-in-cheek as far as the marketing goes, but like it's an authentic, at its root, it's authentic.
And we have a question here. The question here says, what inspired the name Wildfire Cigars?
So kind of to go back to that, well, one, California is always on fire, and I think it's funny.
It's true. It's so true.
Staying on brand.
But you know that it's really more so like kind of what I was just talking about, or like, you know, you're sitting with your friends around a campfire, and you're just like conversing, and you might have a cigar, you might have a bourbon, you might have a whatever, but really it's the experience that you have that I find valuable, and the cigar is secondary. It's just what gets us there. You know, it's not really about what we're smoking, just that we're smoking together. So I liked the concept of just like that. I knew I wanted a campfire. And then the Wildfire, it was just like, well, even though that's not necessarily a campfire, I'm like, who cares? I'm not going to draw a forest fire. You know, that gets hard to make an emblem of, you know.
That would be a big band.
Very big band. And then, you know, that might seem a little insensitive.
That's the Oscar Valadares band.
Or the La Serena band back in the day, where it covered like 90% of it, you know,
right.
Pull it off and there's still another one underneath. It's like a Russian tea doll. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put out like a Lancero that's gonna look like a 770, and you just have to keep pulling off the pins until
Please do it.
It's like an onion.
Please do
right. That's a good name for it. You should just call it the Onion, and people be like,
the Onion, just keep filling off later.
finally get to the root of it, and you get this little petite like Lancero.
And where are your cigars available at? Mostly at B&M's right now?
Mm-hmm. And then there are some B&Ms that have online presence that sell them as well. So, I mean, whereabouts in Texas? I do have a presence in a small presence, but
yeah, there's a couple shops. You have a locator on your site, yeah? We can't
Yeah.
say the site, but I mean, if you all can know the name of the brand, you can figure it out, unless you're an idiot.
Yeah,
There's
no
a locator
warnings.
there.
No warnings. We're already.
Yeah,
I'm already out here using a life.
Yeah, Michael has shields down. He's actually playing the game now.
Good God, YouTube.
you can't say particular things.
You can't say
No.
URLs that sell controlled substances like nicotine.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
of course.
Yeah.
Apparently, you also can't state a business that purchased a controlled substance.
Yeah.
Or an NFT and then was able to get the controlled substance, as I learned this week.
What about
Shit
black
show.
market? Can you tell them where you can go, like what alley to go down to, and at what
Yeah.
time, and meet this like fella
Yeah.
that'll be like 6'4" in a jersey
What dude
suit?
they got to give a hand job to? Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Special
fine.
handshake.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
What?
step away. My dog was in the process of killing a rabbit that jumped in my backyard, so saved the rabbit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm
So
back.
Jeremy, I'll be smoking this this single right here.
Oh, nice.
I know Paul Patel, he's been smoking these lately, or he busted some out to have since they've been aging.
Of course.
I am on the
Good
revivalist.
place for him. Revivalist, okay. That's the OG, right?
Yeah. Nice. What is this? What is my favorite cigar if I had to pick? That's like asking, like, what's your? I mean, I'll give you some of my top faves, because like there isn't because I have different cigars that are my favorite for what mood I'm in. So, like, okay, like if I go for historically, probably like a Padron 26 number 2 Maduro. That's a top cigar for me.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't go wrong with that. And the Antonio Dark Corojo would be one. I love the Last Czar that Caldwell did. That's one of my favorites.
And that's come out in like multiple sizes, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's taken on a different like life than what it was intended to be, like as far as like once a year in a different size. Like it kind of just, I think when the regulation and everything started coming down, they all got put out, like all the companies were doing, just get it out there. And so it was like on the market, and then I don't think it necessarily ever reached its like potential, because it wasn't like the feel of exclusivity got lost on it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
there's lots of cigars. I love the Illusione Epernay. The like I said, it's just kind of Plasencia is badass. Yeah, but it's all like what you're, like I smoke the most of whatever's newest for me, because one, I have a lot of samples, and I'm trying to like for consistency and things like that. But
I'm sure mostly you smoke your own stuff, or you're doing your own QC at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, like typically, like right now, the only reason I'm smoking this, because normally on my like time off or when I'm just smoking to enjoy, I don't smoke mine, because like I smoke them so much. I don't need to. There's a lot of other stuff I like to smoke, but I didn't have time to go to my humidor, and I just got a shipment of samples in. So voila,
Voila. Why not? So I want you to talk about the award you won at PCA and what exactly everything involved in it, because I saw that post and I was like, that's pretty badass. And speaking of badass, talk about your booth at PCA too.
The badass white trash booth.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I was trying to figure out like what to do for the booth this year. The year before, I had done like a campsite, like with a fake fire and like coolers and just lawn chairs. And then I was like, how do I take that to the next level? And so I got this trailer, and the trailer is actually for like, it's utilitarian, like I'm going to be using it. But then I also found out that if on a single axle, I found the loophole with Shepherd that like if you have a single axle, they just charge you a flat rate to wheel in, as long as it's a single axle, regardless of the weight or size of that thing. So I was like, I threw everything in my booth. I mean, the whole booth inside the trailer, and then they dropped it off, and I set up in like 15 minutes, and then the same for teardown, and it was super cheap. So I feel like I beat the system.
The way to go, man.
Speaking of Russian dolls.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a fun booth because like AstroTurf and like, picnic table, like you're just camping at, not camping, like more like an RV park camping. And I thought it would be like funny and kind of cool. And apparently the PCA did too. I was very excited about that because it's not like, I intended or thought that, when you have people putting like actual money into trade show booths, I didn't think my trailer that I've never washed, and by duct taping a rooster on the top that it would, but it worked.
Yeah,
Awesome,
it was interesting. There wasn't just the same thing over and over again. That's what's cool about your brand in general is you lean into it like fully. Like you didn't have a couple, airplanes in a display case.
He doesn't half-ass it.
No. I lean into it because I'm a little white trash. And like,
but that
comes
works
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my family's from Alabama. Like, my first kiss was my sister. I mean, like, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Who isn't? I mean, really.
Oh, man. Love that.
That's how you stay rich, man. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
I froze again.
That's a Rush Hour reference.
It's when my youngest daughter, when she was an infant, her mom is half Filipino, and when she was taking our daughter in to like for the first checkup, they thought she was an albino because they were like, wait, this kid came from you, because she's like the most pale, fair-skinned. And then they showed a picture of me, and they were like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense. Like, looks like this kid, not yours."
Yeah. So because I remember you talking to us about this at the show, where you have a certain plan to like travel the country, like do a tour, and then also invite people to come camp with you.
Yes, and that what's funny is like next week I'm starting the social media campaign awareness for it. I hit the road on the 21st of this month, and I'll be on the road till mid-October, and I'm going around. I'm doing like multiple in-store events, and that's kind of what's funding the trip. And then all in between, I'm going to be like posting up at campsites and inviting whomever wants to come out. So we're going to see what happens.
Dope.
It's going to be a hell of a time, man.
Yeah.
Are you going to wear the camp counselor outfit you have on your website?
It'll definitely show up at some point for sure. For sure.
Okay. That'd be a huge selling point for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
What What can we do to help promote, man, and get your brand out there in the time being? You got, 5 people that, willing to support, do what we can. Just as reviewers, man. How can we help?
Um, I'm really like for this trip. I'm going to be posting like a map and also destinations of where I'm going to be. I think that it's like, this is a elongated way of answering how you can help, but like, so I sell
Nah, let's
to a
go.
retailer, and then the retailer has to, he has the connection with the consumer. So the manufacturer rarely has that personal connection with the consumer unless they've established a rapport or they come out to an event. So I was like, yeah, but what if I do this trip and it's almost all consumer driven and it's not about the sales, but just like hanging out and smoking with herfing all around the US. And so my hope is that people will want to come out and like just hang out. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, really the most is just getting word out. I'll be posting it on my social media, and hopefully enough people like will want to come out and just hang out. And, I do have relationships around the US. So certain places I know people will show up, but there's plenty of places it's like, I got no idea like if a person's going to show up or not, but like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for that, like experience for myself, is like hoping to have some cool interactions with people I didn't know and make some new friends.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I want to ask, like, can you go through your line of cigars, all the cigars that you have available, and like what you can get out of each blend, and like what your kind of like theory is with each blend, and what you want to like what each blend does for the experience for your palate?
you want to nerd out? Let's nerd out.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do, man. Honestly, dude.
Take a shot. Take a shot. Or a sip.
Sorry, man.
So 2 of the guys are smoking the single. That's not on the market anymore. That's what I debuted with.
It's an LE.
It was an LE that, and then, so I won't spend too much time talking about that because that's not as relevant. But Revivalist was the first core line to be introduced. I called it the Revivalist because like I'm just going to be going around, and it's like not with any kind of like religious connotation, but the idea of like the old big tent revivals, right? Like someone just goes into town and they're sharing their things and people come out, and that's kind of, so I was like, well, this is the cigar I'm starting to build everything off of. So like it's going to be like the voice for Wildfire. And so I want to like, so that's kind of why I went with that. And the blend, that cigar was kind of blended with the intent of being reminiscent of some of the cigars that I got into when I first started smoking. Mm-hmm. And not that like, oh, it's a beginner cigar, but like I was a huge fan of like the Hoya Classic, which isn't even on the market in the US, but it is available in international markets.
Remember that?
Yeah. And that, like they would come
it's out here in Japan.
Yeah. And it's I loved that cigar. And when I go to the factory, that's like I chain smoke that cigar. And it's like just medium, just pleasant, but it's super dirty Nicaraguan soil like that. And I love that profile. So I wanted to make kind of a throwback cigar to like stylistically of like of an old school Nicaraguan, but with a little bit more umph and a little bit more personality, like to like talk to today's market versus when I got in the late 90s.
Yeah. So
it's a medium bodied cigar. It's not like an intense, but it's a little more rustic and it's intended. It's not like a creamy, like it's nutty, but it's just meant to be like I feel like a cowboy would smoke that cigar for something. Like I don't know why, All the
it's a-
You got
cigars.
those earthy, spicy flavors in there
yeah.
too.
It's a spaghetti western cigar. It's
Yeah.
the kind of cigar you'd imagine Clint Eastwood would smoke. You know.
Mhm.
Do you feel
Without
lucky?
being like a dry cured.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very straightforward profile.
Yeah, and
Red
it's
Dead
just
Redemption.
and it so like all of the, I don't know if it's because the music aspect of me, but I always like to, whenever the cigars come out, I always kind of visualize this like surrounding where the cigar should be smoked, knowing full well that people smoke in every different like condition and every different environment. But like, yeah, I kind of thought this is the cigar while you're fishing, you know, that you just want to have like a stogie, you know, like,
Yeah.
and it's just, it does exactly, it's not necessarily the most complex as far as like, you know, a million different or tobaccos from different regions. It's just a good, you know, straight up Nicaraguan blend. And I think it showcases like kind of the old school side of Hoya that I feel like they're kind of, not that their cigars aren't good, but it's like, it's an ode to that. And then the Wanderer is a totally different take. That is a Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper with a Habano binder. And then it's got some Pennsylvania broadleaf. It's got some Estley.
I can do that
and
too.
It's got Paraguay. And Alabama Marina. Sure. So
Yeah, that's the one I want to review because it sounds dope.
yeah,
He
that's
loves Pennsylvania broadleaf.
well, the intro and the Wanderer have broadleaf in the filler. And
Yeah.
I wanted, that's kind of my first like, hey, I want to start showcasing some creativity, like those are coming out of FTC in Honduras, and I was like, I just want to find flavors that I think are interesting. So like, I didn't go into that saying I need to use Pennsylvania broadleaf, or like, you know, I knew I wanted a Sumatra wrapper, and then the Paraguay tobacco, I was really intrigued by it, and so I was like, those were the two components that cigar was built off of.
Gotcha.
And through the expertise of Raul, the master blender over at FTC, he like suggested putting the broadleaf in there. He's like, it'll balance it. It'll like, and he was right, because I liked when that. So I mean, I'm by no means some master blender. I'm learning, you know, like as I go. Just you get thrown into the fire, and everyone expects or thinks like, oh, you just, you know. If anything, I realize how difficult this is. Like, why you lean so heavily on the master blenders, guys that have been doing it for decades upon decades. Because the first time when I was at FTC, they just threw me in a room with a bunch of tobacco, and they were like, "Let us know when you have something." And I was like, "This is amazing. I'm going to make the most badass cigar." And then 2 days later, I had at least 45 blends, and not a single one was good. And so I was like,
Wow.
and not a single one. And if any of them were decent, it's only because it was like they were smokable. And the guys were like, "Oh, you're being too hard on yourself." And I was like, "No, I'm certainly not. But I know what I want,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to get there." And then sitting with Raul, he was like, "You're focusing on too many like components. Like, you know, it's like you're a chef with, you got too many spices going on." He's like, "Pick the direction you want to go and then build around that." And so once we started doing that and honing in, and then, okay, we want this profile to show up. What can we use to support that? Or what can we use to like maybe give it a different characteristic? That's where like the blends started like coming together. But I was very frustrated because like, you're like, I don't know, everybody goes on a trip to the DR or Nicaragua and they get to blend something. and they're always like, it's amazing. If I could make this, people would buy it.
Right.
But they're also giving you 4 tobaccos that they already know that they play well
They're gonna
together.
mesh.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, it's not actually that difficult when it's guided, like, you know, but when you're trying to use something that you're not familiar with, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, and also make it unique to the brand that you're trying to build too.
Right. You just don't want something that I don't need to be the best cigar. I just want to be something that offers something a little different than you've experienced with X, Y, and Z brand, you know, in cigars.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it might only be a quarter a leaf of a tobacco that's really the unique characteristic. But if I get it to cut through enough where it's doing something a little different, then it's like, cool.
Yeah.
I got to ask, are some factories more finicky about giving people access to like the good tobacco, you know, when you're new or not? Like, how does that work just kind of politically with different factories, or maybe it's all of them? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, so when I'm at Hoya, it's a much more guided process as far as like doing a blend, because it's more like me showing up to a restaurant and then the chef saying, okay, I'll prepare it any way you want, but I'm still going to prepare it for you. Right. Like
Mhm.
they aren't, I don't have the freedom to like roam their factory and, hey, can I just grab this tobacco? And can I just do this? It's a much more guided process. And it's great because I'm learning as well, like just as much there, but in a different way. When I go to like Honduras, they literally like throw you to the lions and just said, like, go figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I love that because it's immersing myself in a way where I'm getting so much more knowledge of, honestly, a lot more of what doesn't work versus what works. But I think over the years, I'll be able to develop stuff that I know, okay, this plays with this really well. This works with this. And, you know, you start to realize when you've been at a lot of factories why so many cigars are similar is because they know this wrapper goes with this binder, goes with this filler.
It
And then they
marries well.
play with ratios or primings, you know. And so once you start seeing that, it's like, oh, it starts clicking. Like, oh, that's why I can pick up a Connecticut out of an Ecuadorian Connecticut with primarily Dominican fillers, and I can typically already kind of know what I'm going to get, at least 70% of that cigar before I even smoke it. But, you know, I want to find that third, like I want to be able to put a twist in it, you know, and like, what can I do that, like the intro, I knew the cigar was going to be kind of a polarizing cigar, but it was intended to be that way because it's a Ecuadorian Connecticut with a Corojo binder, Pennsylvania broadleaf, Esteli, and Dominican Piloto in there.
Okay.
So like you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a Connecticut. And then you light it and you're like, that is no tame Connecticut.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a pepper bomb, but like the retro, because of the Corojo binder, like I was like, the bar is too high to make a smooth, creamy, delicious Connecticut. Like
Right.
I can't play in that realm yet. But I'm like, but I can make something so different than what's expected and it's something that I'll enjoy. Then hey, the people, like if they don't know going into that cigar what they're smoking, I could see someone getting off put by it, right? If they're expecting a specific profile. But for those that are like, well, I want to know, I want to go on this journey and see what this cigar is about, then it's like, the sky's the limit, you know. And not that it's the first fuller bodied Connecticut on the market, but I just wanted to like give something different using something familiar.
Yeah, and it's a very, very good cigar. And like you said, it doesn't smoke like a regular Connecticut. It's not, like you said, it's not a pepper bomb, but there's a lot of flavor, a lot of upfront flavor on it. It's really, really good. And it's Cigar Brother. He wants to know B&M's where you can grab your stuff in DFW area of Texas.
It's like Elite Cigar Cafe is one of them, I think, right?
Yeah, there's a couple that like, yeah, they have it. What is in San Antonio? There's, yeah, I'm trying to remember. What's Kelsey's shop? There's like 3 or I want to say like there's 4 or 5, but honestly, if you end up going onto my website, that's probably the most efficient way to find who carries what.
Yeah. The
Because
store map on there.
yeah, because not everyone has everything, right, that I carry, like that I make. So
Yeah.
Or you could go online. That's probably the most easiest way. I mean, if there is someone, yes, go support. Obviously, like support the B&M in your neighborhood. But if they don't have it and you're curious, there are avenues in which you can get it.
Okay. Yeah, and Peter had an interesting question. He asked, are there any factories or master blenders that you would like to work with in the future?
Yeah, for sure. It'll never happen, but I would love to do something with Dion. He'll never do it, but
why wouldn't he? Doesn't he love you?
You know what? Being friends, there's a separation of like business and friendship. So yes, he and I have a nice relationship. Nice. Yeah. But I don't think that there is. I can't see that one coming.
So he'll make a cigar for Jeremy Piven, but not for Jeremy McDonald.
I got to get on a show or something.
Yeah, really. Do you think the styles are too different from Wildfire to what Dion is doing?
No, I think they would be rad. I mean, like, because I have been a big fan of. I feel like his stuff is very balanced, right?
Right.
I feel like mine are sharper, with the exception of the single. Like, I think most of my stuff is more like it pushes it a little further, not necessarily in strength, but like a specific. I want you to get a specific note, and that's what I want. So I'm not necessarily. There's the like mindset of let's make a balanced cigar that's going to hit all the salt and savory, sweet, and all the different aspects of your palate. Yeah. Or sometimes you just want to make something that does a specific, like it might be a one-trick pony, but like there ain't nothing like, hey man, when I smoke Padron and Rosarios, they're the most one-trick pony to me cigar on the market, but I love it, and I'm not disappointed. Like when you love, like.
That is the exact terminology that EKB used in his video describing them.
Yeah,
exact verbatim.
Like I like dark chocolate bars, and like when I smoke a 26 Maduro, I'm like, this is delicious. I don't need it to do anything else.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I think it would be super cool, and especially like as I learn more and more and get better and better and more confident with my blends, that come out. I think, I would definitely love to do something with him. I was telling Nick Malio that I feel like the intro is the Highclere Castle's redheaded older dirty brother.
Nice.
Because the Highclere has elegance, but it has some body, and you can feel the Nicaraguan tobacco in it. And it's one of my favorite cigars, like period as well. But mine is like the little less refined. He got into a fight and has a black eye, and like, but he's like
a little more gritty.
Yeah. But like, and when I was telling them, they were like laughing because I was like, I'm not comparing it to Highclere. Let's get that clear. What I'm saying is that I feel like it's its older, dirty brother. Like, and I feel like that's an okay. Maybe he's adopted too, but still, they're related.
It's a loving family.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was the characteristic of the Paraguayan tobacco? Like what when you got
Dude,
your
I wanted to
hand,
ask that question too.
yeah, like what was unique about it? You know, from picking it up in the factory to also how it expresses when it's lit up too.
It had such an aroma of like when I was just doing like smelling it and then burning just the Paraguay. It was like, to me, allspice. Like it was like cinnamon and clove and nutmeg.
Oh, wow.
And it was really, really fragrant, but not intense. It was a soft, and I think that shows up on the back end definitely in the Wanderer. Like there's these like cinnamon clove, like you're smoking it and then they hit you, and like I just was like, man, this is such a cool, like it's not a necessarily that it's not a strong tobacco, but it is strong as far as like first I had like a leaf of it and it was like way too much, right? And then it's like, okay, let's try it with 3/4 of a leaf, and then we got down and there's like essentially a quarter leaf of that in there. But so it's just like offers a nice like subtlety to the blend.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite part of the cigar though.
So we're not going to see like a Paraguayan Puro, right?
No. I mean, next time I'm there, I'll have some rolling. If you want to smoke them, I'll bring them. You can see.
I'm a
Yeah.
By the way, this single is amazing. I know it's a limited edition. If I'm liking this one, which blend in your portfolio do you suggest? Like which one kind of is close to this one, or is there not one close to this one?
No, they're dynamically like different, and it's definitely intentional. Like, am I using any? Well, he doesn't sell to me directly. But there's this back alley that we were talking about earlier, and if you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So price range is between like 12 to 14 or 11 to 14 depending on where you're at.
Very manageable.
Yeah. I get it. But yeah, I mean, like I don't necessarily have so many. I mean, outside of like Dion, I would love to, but there are certain tobaccos I would love to work with that I don't have access to on a like at this point. So I think that's more my. Besides that, I don't want to go to some like, you know, guy that I like revere and respect and be a dumbass. You know, like I want to know my shit, at least be able to hold my own. Yeah. And it's like when it's time, then yeah, like that'll be rad to do.
Yeah, totally.
Who is reaching out to you now? Do you have anybody that's in the industry that's like, you know, like, hey man, let's work together, or like, hey, I like what you're doing, at least let's talk.
I've had factories and approach me that are interested in making stuff. Like, hey, we'd like to do something. Why don't you come down and we'll work out like blends and stuff. But I don't know, if we're being completely honest, if that's just a sales pitch that they sell to everyone, or if they're like stroking me, you know, or if they actually genuinely like the shit. Yeah. So I take that kind of with a grain of salt. Like, I don't know. Like,
fair enough.
Where, like regionally, where do you see your cigars popping off the most in the country?
What it like Tennessee, the like I got good representation out there, and the response is strong. And like when we've done events, they've been the strongest events. I mean, nice. I have my backyard, you know, being in Orange County, but I feel like that's like of course that's there because like
that's home base.
Yeah. So like as far as organic territory, like regions that are doing really well. Yeah, like I see it expanding out, and like I haven't updated the store finder or locator since the show, but I have a bunch new accounts that are like expanding out, you know, more east and up into the Midwest that I need to get on the website so that they can
Be
hopefully
represented
help
there.
drive people. Yeah, and just their
Yeah,
support.
and it makes sense to me, like why your brand would be like why you would speak to people in Tennessee, being Wildfire, all the branding, the bear, all that stuff. It would speak to somebody who lives in the Smokies,
Mhm.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's been super cool that over the past couple weeks I've been noticing when I get tagged in pictures on that where they're smoking my stuff. It's been super dope to see. It's like someone's fishing and they got a wildfire, someone's at a campfire, or they're like grilling in their backyard and they're showing a wildfire, and I'm like, this is exactly like
What you were trying to do.
like yeah, it's being received, and
Yeah.
and that makes me more excited than like, here, let me stage my cigar on top of my whiskey, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, but like people in the real world out there enjoying themselves with what they love doing in their with hobbies. And not that a guy that plays golf couldn't enjoy couldn't enjoy them, but like that's not really the demographic I'm going for. Like it's more like go out there, just be outside, enjoy it. I do have Colorado. I have
Denver.
some. I'm actually doing Rocky Mountain.
Oh,
Cigar
nice.
show?
Cigar festival.
Yeah, that's actually
man.
the first stop of my tour with the trailer.
Nice. And you're gonna be staying in your trailer, right? That's gonna be your motel.
Yep.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
That's so dope.
I'm gonna live in that thing for 7 weeks. It's gonna be.
Are you
amazing.
documenting this, man? Are you gonna
you
do
gonna
like
film it? That was my next question. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so I can't do like a full-fledged, like I had a friend that was willing to go on the trip with me, but there's only one bed and it's a small little, like it's like a twin size, and
Was it Jamie? Was it Jamie who was willing to go?
No, he actually, I think that's
You and Jamie and a twin?
I mean, I would cuddle with Jamie.
Yeah, he's very cuddleable. Very cuddleable.
Yeah. But I felt like on a weird like this needed to be my like Jack Kerouac like trip. I needed to do it by myself. So I'm gonna do like, I don't know. I mean, like, a year and a half ago I went like through a divorce and all this kind of stuff, and I have a daughter, and I was like, part of this trip is for me to just be on the open road and not fully have destinations, and just like go experience America in a way that I have not experienced in a very long time, where it's just like, I'm gonna go to this national park, I'm gonna and I'm gonna be staying in Walmart parking lots and campsites, which is like a different side. It's not the hotel luxury side of my travels that I've been a part of for the past 10 years.
No.
It's like, let's get down and dirty.
Yeah, you're not traveling the country like what's his face, the El Septimo guy. What's shit, I'm blanking on his
Zaya.
name. Zaya Yonan, the billionaire. You're not traveling like him.
Yeah, I don't have a G6.
He camps on a mega yacht.
Yeah, I should write G6 on the side of my camper. My little
Do that
12
shit.
foot.
That'd be funny, man.
Just spray paint it.
Yeah, or permanent marker it. That's enough.
Very
The
very
cry
important
line.
question here. The very important question here, Jeremy. Pancakes or waffles?
Cracker Barrel pancakes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got to be. Well,
Got to
I don't
do
know,
it.
because a waffle holds everything in place, like the syrup and the butter in little pockets, right? So
Yeah, but see what I love
tough.
about, I mean, pancakes in specific, yes, I love. But the reason I say Cracker Barrels is because it gets crispy on the edges of that pancake. So when you bite in,
Oh,
and I've been trying to perfect those myself for a
Make
lot of
'em.
years,
Yeah.
and I can do a pretty good replication of theirs. But I'm a pancake guy.
okay.
I mean,
You
I'm
can't
an
put fried chicken with
everything.
pancakes though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
True.
if we're gonna go there, let's go chicken and waffles all day. That's a combo that
Yes, sir.
like needs to be a
Yeah.
part of everyone's
Magic.
life.
If that's going to be
Magic.
thrown in as part of the equation, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's waffles, man. It's like that's the first thing I think about when you talk about pancakes and waffles. Can I put my fried chicken with that shit? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
No stereotypes.
Our Japanese delegation here.
Why are there stereotypes associated with syrup?
Yeah, it might go with Wildfire cigars. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I gotta
we have
turn my light on here. I'm not going. I'm listening. I'm just flipping this on.
we
Gotcha,
have
man.
a question. What accomplishment are you most proud of at this point in your career, Jeremy?
Nice. It's a great question.
I mean, for sure, just bringing like Wildfire to market, getting it to market, finding guys that like were willing to help me financially to like create something out of nothing. Like
Mhm.
before the first cigar ever sold, I was like, I already made it. I mean, like, how many people get to like just pursue something they love and then find people that will help them get there? So I mean,
Right.
like that hands down is like the most accomplishing thing. So it's like it's already been done. Now it's all gravy.
I mean, first person to sneak a bear into PCA. So, like, I mean,
That's pretty big.
Up until that point, there had only been bunnies.
I'm sure there's been
Yikes.
different types of bears.
Hey yo,
Especially in Vegas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, Reno has the largest furry convention every year, but don't ask me why I know that.
But just the follow-up question is, when is it?
touche.
Let's go. I got an outfit. I got the bear.
I want to say that I ran into them in June, but you know what though? That was like pre-COVID, and it probably moved. It moved back. Who knows, right? Like, it just so happened that I was staying in the same hotel, and I go downstairs because the convention center is like right next to the gym. And yeah, I'm on the elevator, and there's 3 or 4 costumes, and I'm like, this is not Halloween. And why is that? Why does that dude look like he's covered in blood? Kind of thing. And I'm just like, what is going on here? And then, sure enough,
furry.
yeah, largest furry convention in the country.
Nice.
Well,
Very nice.
Fun times. I like Reno.
Speaking of which, Jamie is down to cuddle.
Oh, there you go.
That has multiple meanings for he and I at this moment.
Well, no blankets. You don't have to worry about coverage. So that's good. You got your heat source covered.
Yes. There's a so I have this certain goals, like people go to the trade show or they're like, oh, I want to sell X amount. But I went with like particular goals in mind, like I want these specific accounts I want to get it like rolling with. And I have for my tour a goal, and there's really only one goal, and that's I want to accomplish a meetup, like a HERF in a Walmart parking lot. And that's all. Like, if I do that, my whole trip was worth it. So I got to find, because like, a lot of Walmarts, you can crash there one night in the parking lot if you got an RV or car, like for safety. So I'm like, how long will it take before I get shut down having a party in a Walmart parking lot?
You got to get all that on tape, dude. Like that has to be documented. Yeah, that's some rad ass shit, dude.
Eventually it's going to get shut down, but how long can we go before it gets
Right.
And
see how many you can burn down in the time.
Yeah. So that's now you can kind of get a sense of like what I want out of life, the really valuable things when a herf in a Walmart parking lot.
Hell yeah, dude. Rock on.
You were saying that
What do you
you're,
got? What do you have in your portfolio right now that you were chain smoking? Like your own cigars. Like what are you smoking the most of right now?
I smoke the intro more than anything because like for me that's like actually my I really enjoy. I like Connecticut's and I like that it gives me something very different. It's not my
Right,
favorite
right.
cigar, but it's what I smoke the most.
It's cool.
That makes sense.
What's the favorite?
Well, I mean, I would probably say because I'm not burnt out on it yet, the Arteois, just because it's new to me, like just coming to market.
Gotcha.
So like I haven't because it's like it's not like I mean for the first year plus change, I didn't smoke anything but the Revivalist because that's the only cigar I had on the market.
That was it. Yeah.
So I've burned myself out on that cigar. And so then like I introduced Wanderer and Intro, and Wanderer is probably my favorite, but I smoke it seldom because one, I don't want to burn out on it, and two, I have the least amount of inventory of that, and it's turning the best.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't smoke it as much as I would, but the Intro, even though it was an LE, I like sent a ton to myself so that I would not run out. And so I chain smoke those.
So it seems like the Wanderer is probably like what the people are liking the most so far, right?
It's definitely, yeah. I mean, like Arteois, it's too early to see like what that's going to do, but the Wanderer definitely like it's like the Revivalist came out and then it kind of peaked and is just kind of sat, and that there's for a lot of reasons, right? Like you have no portfolio, so you get lost on the shelves, or people are always looking for something new. And it was over a year before I introduced the next cigar.
Yeah.
So the Wanderer, I think, has hit like a sweet spot, and it's just resonating, and which is awesome. And it's kind of bringing attention back to the Revivalist. And then introducing Arteois, it's a very different profile. And it's kind of like, so the response has been positive, but like its initial response is very different than sales, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
guys that are posting pictures on social media, that doesn't necessarily translate into like you're actually doing a lot of sales. It just,
True.
you know, one guy can take 10 pictures of the same cigar if he really loves it. And it's like, all right, well, I keep showing up in my feed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like resonating. So it's too early to tell with Arteois what the overall response is. I mean, it's been positive from what people have told me, but like it's when the reorders and that stuff comes, then I know, okay, cool. Like, but Wanderer is rolling for me. So,
sure. So we have
What's
a
been the
question
most?
here, Jeremy.
Oh, my bad.
So you go, Keelan. You go, man.
Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to step on the question, but I was gonna ask. So, like, that's the bright side of it. You know, you're seeing the people posting on Instagram. You're seeing, you know, the numbers of, you know, each of the cigars and where they're taking off. What's been the stressful side of like actually getting your brand going and you know getting everything out there? What's been the hard side of this, where it's just like the days where you got your head in your hands, like what the fuck is happening, man?
I mean, rent and things like that, and only having one cigar. I mean, I got no safety net, man. This is it. This is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, like this
Sure.
ain't a side gig. This is, and so only having one line on the market for a year was not sustainable for me financially. So, like, you know, December to March, I picked up a second job in the interim because, like, hey, man, I got you know, a 10-year-old daughter. I got rent. I got food. You know, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. So it didn't stop me from working on Wildfire, but I was like, you know, like the money is like for one line was not supporting, you know, an income. And it's nice, like this year, as I've been able to release a good amount, you know, like the intro as an LE, Wanderer is regular production. Arteois came out regular production. And then in October, I have an LE dropping out of Hoya. So
Nice.
it's like now I'm starting to build a presence, and it's making paying the bills a little easier. But
Nice,
most
man.
definitely, it's the financial
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah. I have a question from Ezra in the chat. Do you like Cubans, Jeremy?
I mean, like, I like women from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make good food.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't discriminate.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. There's some I like and some I don't like. There, for sure. Why not? Yeah, I like them.
So the way you're answering that, it makes it sound like you don't think they're anything special compared to other cigars.
I've had some very special cigars that were Cubans, but I am not a chaser or I don't need a cigar to wow me. I just want to enjoy it and feel like what I paid for it was what I got out of it.
The experience.
Yeah, like when
the threshold isn't super high for that.
No, my expectations and I think there are far superior cigars. Let's just say domestic, right? Meaning anything outside of Cuba, as a whole, I think we shit on them because the quality, as far as the construction, the resting of the soils, the opportunity of different tobacco leaves that are available to us, I don't think there's any comparison. That being said, I've had some amazing Cuban cigars, so
Yeah.
Yep.
I totally get it. We have another question here. Appreciate the grind, Jeremy. What's next? What's your main goal over the next 6 to 12 months?
I mean, that's a little further than I'm thinking, man. I'm gonna get on this road and we'll see what happens. But no, just continually to grow at a pace that makes sense for me. I'm not against using brokers or reps, but I have not. This has all been on thus far, off my own back because I was I have a specific message that I want to be told about the representation of what this brand is about. And I don't want to be in someone's book that's using it as a sales ploy to either sell someone else's product or using someone else's product to then sell mine. And it doesn't mean I don't like brokers, but there's a time and a place for it. And I said to myself, I would do this myself until I can't handle it myself. And then, the trade show friends came and helped me, and I would not have been able to pull off the show if my friends had not come to the aid. I don't have employees, I don't have I'm not there as a brand yet, and so everything has to be done strategically. So I'd like to get the brand healthy enough to be able to bring on the next person or make sure that I have enough. My biggest concern has been making sure I have inventory, right? Yeah. So I have brokers that I have relationships with all over the US, but it's if I bring them all on, then all it does is suck my inventory drive overnight, and then I have no product for 6 months,
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense until I can build up enough, cash flow to have that inventory level where it's okay, now I can bring on this broker, this guy, and then share that load as far as so I'm not having to do all the sales directly myself. So that's kind of that is, I guess, my goal in the next 6 to 12 months is to be able to not have to do direct sales with the retailers and just be able to focus on the overarch of the brand and new blends and going out and promoting it and doing that.
Yeah.
How do you think the road trip is going to help with the sales and all that kind of stuff, though? You really think it's going to be able to help move product like that?
Well, Not directly necessarily. I mean, the stores that I'm doing events at already do well with it. I've done so. It's more like just showing face at those, and like they're supporting me, so I want to support them back.
Yeah.
But I think indirectly, it has a potential for long-term benefits for the brand, because let's say, like, I don't know where y'all live, but like, say you're in Texas and we get to like hang out, we're herfing, and you might just be like a consumer and not necessarily be in the industry. But if we end up having a good time, right, and there's a connection then to it, it's like that person is going to be far more valuable in, like, being a champion for the brand because it's personal to them. Like,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and like that's how I got people and my friends, like, they came alongside and helped me at the trade show, because like they were like, oh, like we want to see you succeed. Like, and so they got your back. And so it's like, if you can actually, I'm not looking at it as a trip of like it being a real money maker. I'm looking at it as like,
Sure.
can I build
Brand
the brand?
development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you document that trip and you need someone to edit it for you, I will happily do it.
Amazing. Amazing.
And he's damn good at what he does. As far as production value goes,
Yes, he is.
He's next to none.
That's amazing. And thank you very much.
Oh yeah. No, I as soon as you mentioned it, like that's something I'd love to do. For sure.
Like I dig the grassroots vibe of it too, man. Like, not touting myself, but the whole thing behind the vintage cigar was like to make the channel like a herf. So like everybody just come together. It's a community thing, and you're doing that on a much more macro scale with your brand, man. I just think that's freaking awesome, dude.
I just feel like, I mean, like we can all relate on, we don't want to be sold on shit anymore. Especially like,
No.
it's like, I'm happy to have a friend recommend something to me, but
Yeah.
it's, or someone I respect, like their opinion of them recommend something to me. But like, gone are the days where, I mean, I just don't want to be a used car salesman like mentality. It's like, I don't, if you don't like my cigars, that's rad. There's a shit ton of other brands that are making fantastic cigars. Just smoke. Like I just want you to enjoy yourself. But for those that it can resonate with, if it does, I think, like, how do you cut through as a brand right now? And it's like, it's like you either got to live it and it's got to be authentic and it's got to be real, or I feel like you got no shot in hell. I don't know.
But you know
I don't know if
what's
it's-
weird to that, man? We've been talking about it's a whole lot of cartoon characters and car salesmen in the industry right now. Like those are the guys that are out there right now. Like not just on reviewers, but these guys who are doing these cigar clubs and all this kind of stuff. And you can tell they're trying to sell you on something. And they don't really give a damn. You like really care about this shit, man.
Yep.
Like you're out there trying to like shake hands and
It's all
meet
him.
people and actually sit down and yeah, it's you and smoking cigars with people, man. I just think that's refreshing. And I'm hoping that when you take this road trip, it kind of changes the game a little bit. I hope people can kind of see what you're doing. Honestly,
I appreciate it. I mean, that's my hope, right? Is that it just like at the end of the day, right? It's like maybe I hope for the sustainability of like, if I can get to this brand where it's caring for my financial needs and like, I ain't got to stress about like how rent's coming. That's all I needed to do.
Right.
Everything. But if I can along the way, it feels like the older I get, the more I realize about, shit kind of fades away. Like, what's important to you, right? And what you want.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to have connections with people that matter, and everything else I don't really give a fuck about anymore.
Right.
And like, so if this gives the opportunity where not only I get to have that, but if someone else, I can offer that to someone too, then like we lived a better life. I mean, whatever about the brand.
Yeah. And kind of a broad question here, but what was your first step in starting Wildfire? It was probably just deciding to leave Caldwell and start, just making that decision in your head.
It was. And then the first practical thing was I went to Rob and I talked to him about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not going to, I've put too much time and invested. I'm not going to burn bridges and try to do this behind anybody's back. And he and I talked about it and he was like, I got you, do it. We support you. And then, so that was the first. But kind of deciding for myself, all right, I'm going to do it. And then we figured out a timeline of when I would leave Caldwell. He allowed me to stay there up until my cigars went into production.
That's cool.
And no one in the industry
round of applause on that.
But he was
that's really cool.
He was just I don't think it's a conflict of interest as long as you keep doing what you need to do for us until your cigars are in production. Then I think it's time that you'll need to and I was like, fair. So I mean, that's above and beyond what most people would do for you.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
How much capital did you need to get things rolling though?
Well, how much capital did I get, or how much did I realize later that I needed that I didn't get?
all of the above, Jack.
Let's just say what I acquired was not even half of what I actually needed, because I'm not trying to do a regional brand. I'm trying to build a national brand. So it's not like I'm making, let me get 50 boxes of this and 50 of that. It's all right, let me build up an inventory. Let me make sure I've got it. So it's 300-400 boxes. But when you have zero distribution and you've got 1,000+ boxes of inventory, that creates a little stress. But I mean, it's not I went at it with the angle of thinking I'm gonna do this slow and steady, but only having one line on the market is just there's no way, there's no sustainability with it. It's because there's not enough. You got one option for one type of smoker and that's it. Even if you got a couple different Vitolas, it's not gonna cut it. So I mean,
even when you're going for a specific, especially when you're going for a specific demographic on top of that too, that kind of narrows it.
Yeah, when Caldwell launched, we launched with 7 products, right? And so I was kind of going the reverse end of it, where it's because it was basically throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what worked. And I was I don't want to waste capital because I need this to go towards I need it to be earning me and getting sales. But only having one was not the smartest move. When that's all, if I had another gig or something that had been paying that was going to float me, sure, that would have been fine to do that. But
you think a minimum?
You can shoot basketball to sell crack, man.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you think maybe a minimum of 3 lines would have been better?
I do. I think it would have. But then it's tying up that much of your overhead into something that has zero proof of sales yet is I see why there's a lot of companies that come out and you're they were a solid cigar. What happened to them? And it's just to be able to have the level of inventory to actually make a dent on a national level, and then to help and then to support that on the B&M side, and then hope that it resonates enough where it's selling. There's just a lot of unknown variables attached to it. This is a learning experience.
There's no guidebook of how to start a cigar company.
No.
No.
Very niche, extremely niche.
Right. So
I was going to say a question from Devin Lane. he's a big fan of JC Newman. What's everybody's favorite JC Newman cigar?
Or is he
That's
asking
easy for me.
what's
So
my favorite cigar?
Ye-
Is it JC Newman?
Yeah, I mean the
under
Angel
the JC Newman
Cuesta.
umbrella. That's damn good, but you know what I'm gonna say, Michael, is gonna be the Julius Caesar. But that
Yeah.
I did like that Angel Cuesta though. Angel Investor.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried the Julius
Yeah,
Caesar
JC.
yet. At least not in the Shark.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
sharp.
dude, you got to. You got to.
I know.
Angel
Got
Quest.
to.
No. Angel Quest is good up to what I've tried so far. Really solid.
What about you, Jeremy?
I'm gonna go 858 Sun Grown.
Oh,
Is
It's
that
sun-grown is fire. That sun-grown is
is that-
fire.
that's not the Quest Array, is it?
No, no, the
That Cuesta Red is good too, though.
no, the
Yeah.
I mean, the,
AF.
yeah, it's a good, like, it's Corona, right? Like, and it comes in the natural Maduro and like Claro or the, like, you know, Candela, but once a year or maybe more than once a year now they put it out in the sun grown, and it's like, so it's quasi limited as far as availability, but it's not, it's the same price as the regular ones, you know.
Yeah. Until retailers
super
until
affordable.
retailers get a hold of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a basic, you know, like, I mean, I'm sure it's in California now, it's over $10, but I mean, it was a $8 cigar that I smoked for years. And I was just like, it's a good smoke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's damn good. I agree with that.
Wanted to ask you what's a size that you prefer to blend? Like, what's your favorite size to blend a cigar, or what's one
That's a
maybe
good question.
what's like, and then maybe second to that, what's one that you want to do that you maybe haven't done yet in terms of Vitola?
Well, I like Corona is my favorite size, or a Corona
Yes.
Extra, like, for sure. Like a 46 by 5 3/4 is like ideal. The funny thing is, though, is like the Arte, like, I would think, because those are my favorite sizes, in each one of my lines, I like them in different sizes best. So like the Revivalist, I like best in the Corona. The Wanderer, I like best in the Robusto, which is a 5 1/4 by 50. And then the Arteois, I like best in the Toro.
Okay.
I think they showcase the best, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
The blinds, yeah.
But for me as a smoker, Corona all day, and a size, because right now I'm only using like the LEs to do fun sizes, where everything core
Churchill.
is Robusto, Corona, and Toro. I'm keeping it just straight across the board, and so it's simple, it's clean, it looks good on a shelf, and they're all good, like, selling. Like, I have the Coronas for the nerds. I got the Robusto for anybody else in the Toro, because that's what the majority like smoke.
Everyone
But-
loves Toro.
Yeah. I was excited to hear you say Corona, because that is my favorite size. And Matt and I have this disagreement. He's a big Lancero guy, so I'm around that.
Well, the cigar I want to make would be a Lancero, though.
Okay.
I'm not a
Matt would
Lancero
love- Matt
guy.
would love it.
I'm not a Lancero guy.
A Lancero or like a Salomon.
6 by
Yeah,
52.
yeah.
6 by 52. I'm a basic bitch. 6 by 52 all day. I noticed you don't have any tapered end cigars. Is that something that you just don't like tapered tips? You know, maybe construction wise, kind of iffy.
No, you know, like, I'm not a big like torpedo pyramid person, and I'm not saying never say never, right? I'm not saying they won't be in there. Just the same as, like, I don't smoke 60s, right? But it doesn't mean that I won't not make a 60. It's just at this point I need them all to be best sellers.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the top 3 sizes that sell in our
Dependables.
industry.
Got to
and
play the
that's it.
hits.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yes.
I mean, Bear God 660 sounds good to me, but whatever.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I mean, it
Fair,
feels
fair
like
point.
it could be a 60, right?
Dude,
It
the
does
Cocaine
feel-
Bear? The Cocaine Bear 660?
I might even smoke a 60 for that one, man. I might go that one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie yet. Was that good?
I heard it's
Retro
shit.
hell that was.
It's
Bro, I have not
awful
tried
and
it.
fun.
it looks like shit, but like good shit. Like
Yeah,
it absolutely
it's not
looks
good,
ridiculous,
but it's entertaining,
but good,
right?
yeah.
Like
You got to
Like-
have a B movie lineup sometime.
Yeah.
it's like if they had just left it to the craziness of the bear on cocaine, that'd be funny. But they added some plot, and you're like, I don't care. I just want to see the bear.
Yeah.
Like, so you know, if you go in with the right mindset, it's an A+.
Okay.
It's just you have to have lower that bar and then go in.
Lower
But,
the
like,
bar.
That was also like an extension off of something that kind of happened, right? Where like a
Yes.
bear had overdosed on cocaine, and now there's a new like killer sloth movie coming out,
I saw that.
and that has that I just feel like is going to be like the megalodon like hurricane shark thing,
Sharknado.
where it's just Sharknado, where
I mean,
we're
how
just
is it going to sneak up on anybody?
the sloth movie. That looks like a true.
Just fall out of the tree.
That is,
Land on some, you know?
yeah,
I'm
that's
going
like,
to kill you in 5
out of the
minutes.
Yeah.
You
Slow
know,
death.
like,
this writer's strike has ruined everything.
Yeah, that was Ray Liotta's last movie, right? Cocaine Bear.
Was it?
I think so.
I think so.
I
I
believe
think
so.
so.
He
Legacy,
went out on a
man.
high note.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Jeremy, like on a serious note, so when you're doing your LEs, so like what is your mindset when you're doing an LE? You know it's gonna be limited. Like what are you trying to give to the consumer in that moment?
with that one, with Ellie's, I'm trying to showcase that specific blend in whatever size I think that specific showcases the best in.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, the intro is a Corona, right? Or an odd Corona. But I feel like it's also kind of a cool testing market to see if one of those things resonates enough where I could put it into core production down the road. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying out, hey, these are my ideas. And because it's an LE, it sells, right? Because it's you get it while it's there and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But like, I can kind of gauge the response of like, does this blend resonate with people? Because then if it does, it's like, well, cool. Down the road, I can introduce that because I have such a small portfolio, you know, and like I want to keep expanding. So it's kind of like, it's to have fun. And like the intro is the first of a 3-part series. And it's
okay.
like, it's music related. So you have the intro, then you got the hook, and then you got the breakdown that'll be coming out, right? And so the blends are like kind of how I would introduce that. Like, how do you want this song to start out? Oh, I want it with this kind of flavor and this, and then it's like, okay, now for the hook, that's got to be the cigar that, like, to me, I feel like people, like, there's something they can grab onto where they'll want that continually, right? So I'm like analyzing it in that way, and that's why I chose specific, like, the blends to be like reflective of kind of the construction of a song, you know, like.
Hell yeah. Dude, I
So,
love this, man.
So those other two, the hook and the breakdown, are gonna come out PCA 24.
Are they
The blends
made
are
and
done.
resting right now, or they're yeah? That's what I was gonna ask. Like,
Blends
far
are
along are
done. Blends are done. They have not been. The production has not been rolled yet, though. But
Okay.
but it will be relatively soon. It's just got to get the cash flow.
Yeah.
heard that. Cash is king.
So the intro's in LE. Is the Wanderer in LE as well, or is that core?
No, that's core.
Okay, cool.
LEs I'll always do like just one
Music.
size, and they'll tend to fall under the music end of it, and then the core stuff will fall into kind of just wherever my head is
Cocaine
at.
Bear out in the
Cocaine
wild.
Bear, yeah. Well, like, we came up with, you know, last year at not this most recent, but the year before, we had the final blends for Arteois, and I wanted to call it Kodiak, right? Because I had the bear at the like booth, and I even wore it around the last day and chased people around, but I couldn't use Kodiak because of the chewing tobacco. So it got stopped in the process, and I was like, because that's such a badass name. So then I was like, well, like it's a fuller bodied cigar, it's rich, it has like a heartier kick to it, not pepper wise, but like, you know, it's fuller. And so I was like, I want it to be bear related, and so it was just going through all the different like iterations and vocabulary for bears, and then I came across like Arteois, and I was like, oh, the Greek bear god, like their thing, and which like Ursa Major, the stars and everything, you know, is named after. And so I was like, that's the name. And then I picked a name that no one could pronounce. So it's been amazing.
That's the first thing you said to me at the show. I'm like, what's like, I remember like you gave me this cigar and I was looking at the band like is like Arteois. I picked out a name that nobody could pronounce. That's the first thing you said.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking yesterday with Juan at Hoya de Nicaragua, and he's like, he said it and he did not say it correctly, and I was like, you know, I'm like, usually it's us like in certain regions of the United States that we can't pronounce the Central American, you know, names, the Spanish names, and
killing me
like,
in the review.
Funny that I came up, and I've always hated that when I can't pronounce a cigar. Like, I'm like, why are they making this so difficult? And then I choose Greek, thinking like, oh, everyone knows Arteois.
Not the case.
No one knows Arteois. So
I didn't want to say it earlier. I didn't know what that meant. I'm glad you kind of clarified that shit. I was like, I don't know what Arteois is, but
yeah,
now I do.
Yep. So maybe I won't go into Greek for the next, you know, core line. We'll just maybe I'll like add on the box, just call it Artie for short, you know. Like,
Artie the bear.
Artie the bear. That ain't bad.
Huh?
Just so you know, we're gonna be using that going forward. Like when we do reviews on it and shit, we're gonna call it Artie, man. So
Artie the bear.
I'll start naming them after Pokemon, like Arcanine or whatever.
hey, that works.
Mm-hmm.
speaking of music, man, what are you listening to right now? What's inspiring you?
Okay, this is going to be left field.
Let's go.
And not necessarily left field as no one's heard of it, but like, so a little context is I'm a big fan of Rick Rubin, right? He like as a producer, and I listen to his podcast, Broken Record, right? And he interviews all kinds of different artists. And
Great pod.
I absolutely love listening to it. Dude, he just did. So I was listening to, because I listened to all of them, because like artists I know, don't know, different genres, because I just find it all interesting. And he did an interview, I think like a couple weeks back, with Kesha, of all people. And so he did her new album, and I was listening to her talk about kind of like it dealing like that he was almost a guru for her in this process, and he stripped away all the pop and stripped away all like auto-tune and all this stuff for like what people know Kesha as, right? She's a pop star. And this album is like gut-wrenching and beautiful, and I've been listening to the album like on repeat. So like,
no shit,
I came from punk and I'm a Kesha fan now. So there's
I never thought we'd be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
But now I want to listen to it though. Now I'm probably gonna listen to a Kesha album.
But the thing is like I just like music that makes you feel something, and I don't have to understand it. I don't have to like know where they've gone, but just as long as I can understand the emotion of what they're conveying, and like whatever happened in that recording session, like you got a really honest kind of angry singer-songwriter album out of it. And like I don't know. I put it on, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait, it's going back to the beginning, which I guess like I was like, I have not listened to an album in a long time. Hi.
He did the same thing with Kanye. All right.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Great.
I didn't watch that.
This is the one that they thought was an albino.
That's your twin.
Very sweet family man.
But yeah, Kanye, exactly. I mean, I don't know what, dude. He's a magician. Whatever, he pulls something out of people that I find, like, you know, when he did the like Johnny Cash Man in Black, right, series where it's took away the country aspect and put back the vulnerability of the man in his old age into these songs, and you're like, oh, that's moving, right? And so yeah, from the podcast I listened to that album, and I've listened to it quite a few times. So
I was hoping he was gonna get like Andre to do an album too, Andre 3000. I don't know if you saw the podcast that Andre was on. Like, they got so raw and so philosophical, like in that. He was just, it was almost like a therapy session. That whole pod, man. It was raw, dude. It was so good.
That that episode was like when you're finding out that he's like playing in a parking lot somewhere, just like, you know,
with
like not even Andre 3000, like just doing his own, like, you're just like, the guy's on another level, and it's like, please do something with him. But it's like he's in a different place or something. But it's man. That would be
like
amazing.
Rick almost broke him down. Like he got him so close to like, yeah, man, I might get out there and make some. You could tell he was trying to push him in that direction. He just wouldn't go. He wasn't ready, man. But it was such a cool thing, because if he could do that with Kesha, and he could do that with Kanye, Johnny Cash, imagine what he could do with Andre, man. That thing would be crazy, dude.
I would love to hear that. Yeah. Maybe Rick Rubin will see this and he'll keep working on you know, Andre 3000, or maybe Andre will see it.
Man, who knows? I just used Andre for my 3,000 subscribers, so hey, we'll see, man. That's some awesome shit. What else you got, man? What else you listen to? Like, okay, your favorite punk band of all time? I need this because I'm trying to get more punk in my discography right now. So, what's your favorite punk album or band?
13 songs from Fugazi.
Okay.
So like, it's East Coast, and it's not like, you know, straight punk. It's more, but like that to me is like what set the stage for everything else I listened to after. So like, it's like the roots of what so much of punk rock has become. I mean, not like, you know, like you had like the Sex Pistols and Ramones, and they had a very specific thing. And then you had Fugazi that was just like, oh, you're supposed to do this musically. We don't care. We're going to try to do this instead. And and then when you hear something that clashes, but yet still works, that's like, I'm like, what? How did that work? Like, that's not supposed to work musically. So like, for me, that's probably my, that would be the foundation which I would build on. Pantera all day. But he said punk. I mean, I'm a huge Pantera fan, but we're going into metal, my friend. Like metal hardcore.
Yeah, that Vulgar Display, that's like one of my favorite albums, but yeah, that's definitely a lot more hardcore.
Yeah, it's hard.
I mean, I'm not dissing it because I love Pantera. Like,
love them
too. I just listened to him yesterday working out.
But yeah, Pantera is,
because most people are gonna go to like Sex Pistols or Ramones. So I like that Fugazi, man. That's pretty.
Yeah,
nice little spin.
What do you think about the Melvins?
I like the Melvins. If the Melvins didn't happen, you wouldn't have had Nirvana.
True.
Facts.
What
do you play? Are you playing? Do you play gigs anywhere, man? Since you're a musician, do you play anywhere, or you just playing at home? Where you playing?
No, I play. We play local shows, dude. At the trade show, we put on a show off site.
Yeah. And
My band-
you're a guitarist, right?
yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I thought like, hey, let's offer something for people that would like to come. And it was hard to get it like promoted properly. So many people after the fact were like, oh, I wish I would have known. And it's like, yeah, like I only really had my social media and whatever limited, audience that it has, or when I spoke to people directly. But like we had a group of retailers that came out and like we had a fun night. We smoked cigars and played some loud, aggressive music.
That's dope.
You plan anything when you go when you're going across the country? You playing any music while you're going out there? You gonna stop at any places and jam at all?
A couple stores have like requested it, but
Yeah.
I'm not like so much a solo player like by myself. And it's like, well, are you paying for the band to come out? No. Okay, then no, they're not.
Right,
coming.
right.
Yeah.
Heard.
Like, yeah. So it's got to be worth everybody's time in that regard. But I had a tentative event planned in Georgia, and he was like, if I get you a backup band, will you play a bunch of will you do like kind of top 40 and like old covers? And I was like, I'll do it if you do like super old school country, because that'd be fun. And but it didn't look like it handed like that it's working out, because I was like, if you get a backup band, I'll bring my guitar, just but I'm still going to bring my guitar, but I'm just going to bring my acoustic, not my electric.
Nice. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Campsites,
Yeah, for
Go
the
see
campfire.
home on the range, and
You can always do some Johnny Cash while you're doing that, man. It'll fit the vibe.
yeah, I always say like I'm 44, and people are like, oh man, like, you're trying to live your glory days. And I'm like, well, no, because I never stopped playing music, first of all. And I'm like, and second of all, it's for me, it's cathartic. Like, it's not about like, I'm not trying to go on the road. I from 18 to 20 years old, like I lived in a van trying to like make it with a band, and then realized that was not what I wanted. And I was like, I want music for me, not so like I write, I play in bands. It keeps me sane. It's a pretty constructive way to let out like some aggression, and like that's all I need it to be.
Yeah.
So, dude, when did you transition from musician to tobacconist? How did it happen?
Well, on my 18th birthday, I went and bought a cigar, because I like had romanced them. My uncles smoked cigars on holidays when I was growing up. So like to me it was like that's what men do, so I was like, when I became an adult, that was the first thing I did, is I got myself a cigar. And then like I just got into them, and I got a lot of friends into smoking them, and then we all smoked cigars. So like like I went and saw my buddy's band play on Wednesday this week. And then after, like, we all sat around smoking cigars after his band played. So, like, it just, they never felt like they didn't mix to me.
Right.
Even though, like, I may have been the only dude outside smoking a cigar at a punk show, I was like, isn't that punk to kind of do what you're not supposed to do?
Hell yeah.
Dr. John's badass.
He was
Dr.
saying no
John
one wants
Mike.
to admit Blink 182 and Green Day are good. Their
I
favorites.
can't. I couldn't clap to that, man. I never got into those guys. So.
If you're talking about punk rock, no one wants to admit they're.
I'm more Billy Idol, man. When it comes to that, man, I'll listen to Billy Idol before I listen to fucking Blink 182, man.
Oh yeah, Dr. John Larson, I might have to disagree with you, my friend.
I grew up with Blink 182.
I grew up on
Yeah.
Blink.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I grew
yeah.
up on Blink. So
100%.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, to me, like Blink and stuff like that is no different than like just like Lady Gaga or pop. It's just
That's for me. That's what it sounds like to me, man. I can't do it, man. I can't do that or
It's-
Offspring. I fucking hate Offspring. I can't.
Fucking Offspring, jeez, yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't, bro.
Yeah, they reach that level of stardom to where you hear those songs so fucking much to where it just reaches that pop kind of level.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just
mean,
want to
look,
stick
I-
a cigar in my ears
But-
when you play Offspring.
but I bet you
can't
sing to
fucking
'em.
stand it. Who?
Every
But-
single person who hears it.
That Kubo
Never.
Sumatra from Dapper is an excellent cigar that Juan is talking about. That's
I don't think I've
good
had that
cigar.
one.
It is worth
Oh, yeah.
checking out.
I've had it. It is great. Hell yeah, I've had that. I had the Kubo. Actually,
Yeah.
damn, it's been about 4 years since I've had that though. I had it when I was in Fresno.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, like there's a time and a place for all types of music, right? Like sometimes you just want to dance and like party and have fun, and like that's where those bands sit for me. Like I'm glad they exist for the purpose of like they don't make me think, they don't make me feel, but I just want to. It's like Andrew WK or AC/DC. Like sometimes you just want to crank it up and just
It's just
go a little
fun.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with AC/DC on that. Hell yeah, I totally agree with that.
So
Like the
like,
Not Blink
the
182
darkness.
though.
Yeah.
The darkness, yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Same
Dude,
same
his-
shit.
his YouTube channels. Do you watch any of his? His hilarious.
I have no
I
idea.
gotta-
The singer Justin, whatever his name is, it's called Justin something Rides Again, and he has a whole like YouTube thing where he breaks down other artists, but he's the front man of the darkest. It's hilarious because the guy is like,
I'm glad you brought that up. I got to dig into that.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen that? He's like, I think he's. I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but I think he's like Russian, but he's a drummer, and he puts out all these shorts on YouTube, and he's just doing all kinds of crazy covers. But he's like so freaking good. in
I
terms
know
of
exactly who you're
his-
talking about.
his speed and
The
because like he'll
fastest
get
drummer guy.
yeah, well he'll get drummers from like speed metal bands and stuff. Be like, hey man, I want you to do a cover of my song. I want to see you do it. You know,
And then he'll do it like one-handed.
Yes,
Yeah.
one-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's super.
No, that's sick.
He seems pretty humble. 'Cause,
So-
like someone was like, "Are you the best drummer?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm not," because he's like, "There's so much that goes into being like such a great drummer in terms of the creativity and stuff." He's like, I just have skill, doing this."
Yeah.
But yeah. He's phenomenal, man. He's blowing up like crazy. But some of
Great
his
studio drummer.
covers are just insane. And yeah, he does them like one-handed while drinking coffee, and it's like
Mhm.
it's songs that like other people struggle to do with two hands, and he's
Yeah.
just like, chilling.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Crazy.
sick.
That guy's a
And we
beast.
got Pan in the chat, our man from
Yeah.
Cyprus. Not Cyprus, California, but the country of Cyprus.
I told him we were just going over Greek cigar names.
Yeah.
Yep. There it
And
is.
the man. Are your cigars available in Cyprus, Jeremy?
No. Not
Will
at
you
this
be taking
point.
your trailer to Cyprus?
Right. Cypress, California, yes, because it's right by my folks' house.
Yeah.
They live in
Oh,
Garden
yeah.
Grove, so sure, I'll cruise over Buena Park in Cypress.
Oh.
No, I just
You got any
opened up
places
a
that- oh,
distribution in Canada, and I'm working on the Middle East right now, and Norway. So
Norway. Damn,
That's
dude.
fitting.
Damn.
yeah, they all think I'm from there.
You're right.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Where you trying to expand to next, other than those locations? You got your eyes set on anybody, or you talking to anybody like in any places in the States where you trying to go?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I have a few conversations going with some brokers in areas that I don't have much penetration, and so I'm looking at expanding those. But just it won't happen till the like Q1 of 24 until I start like branching out and bringing on help in that way. So But I'll start building it out, and then by the end of next year, hopefully have close to a full representation around the U.S. And support so that they can go into the stores, and just you like the word penetration?
Yes.
Hey, yo.
I'll watch sports and they use that word a lot. It drives my wife nuts. She's like, "Can they stop saying that?" And I'm like, "But the defense penetrated the offense." So
My wife always chuckles when she hears that.
You got to keep the Bears interested, man. That's how they go.
Okay, good follow up from Texas Taurus.
Well played.
Of course.
Black flag.
Black-
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean,
Black
I'm all
flag.
about Black
Yeah.
Flag.
Hell yeah.
I got invited to it was this week, a Black Flag show from one of the retailers, and Henry Rollins was fronting them for the show.
Oh wow.
For a one night out
It's-
in South Carolina.
It's dope when
That's
they're
dope.
still going, man. That's super clean when you got these bands that are still going like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rollins in forever, man. It's like he jumped off the planet for a minute.
He's been doing his like angry spoken word, for the past
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, because when was his last interview with Rogan? It was like 2021, kind of during the middle of everything that was going on, where he was on that. Last time I remember seeing him publicly.
No clue.
Something like that.
That's the last I saw of him too, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the age-old question. What's everybody smoking at the moment, man?
I'm smoking my first Wanderer.
Nice. I'm
It's good.
jealous.
It's good so far.
I don't have access in Japan, man, so I'm sorry I couldn't smoke one of your cigars for the live, man.
Whereabouts in Japan are you?
Currently, I'm in Zushi. It's about an hour and a half south of Tokyo.
I don't know where that is. I've spent a little time in Tokyo and Kyoto. That's it.
Oh yeah, there. Tokyo is like you take one train, pretty much you can get to Tokyo. We're just south of that. It's like it's a beach town that's just below that. Kyoto is on the other side of the map. And in about 2 months, I'm gonna be in Sasebo, so that's really close to Nagasaki, Hiroshima, all that.
Yeah, it was interesting when I took the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto, I believe, right? And like,
Yeah.
see the remains of like Hiroshima and like areas that have still not been like built. I was like tripping out, where you're just like,
It's wow, dude.
You're like, they never built that area up. Like it's just remained frozen in time from this moment of like, it was a trip.
They have this culture out here, like when they say for instance you have a restaurant or something and it goes out of business, they just leave everything as is and they just abandon the building. So like you can go all through Japan and you go off the beaten path and it'll just be like this old abandoned building and you look inside, the chairs are still there, it's like still plates on the table, it's still stuff in the kitchen, like they just leave it and it's just there for time. It's a wild ass thing, dude.
You know the biggest thing that was a trip to me when I went there is like, so one night we went out like karaokeing, right? Doing the cliche, like having fun. I was staying with my buddy who lived out there, and we were out too late, so we missed the train. He's like, "Oh, we're just gonna go sleep on the riverbed," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "No, it'll be fine." And like we go, and there's like businessmen that have pulled off their coats and using it as a pillow. And I was like,
Yes.
We're safe. And he's like, we're totally safe. Don't worry, dude. And like we fell asleep and woke up and then we caught the train. And I was like, this is the most amazing. Like, no way in fucking hell would I do that in California.
Nope.
Sleep on the
Your
riverbed.
shoes would be gone, your wallet would be gone, everything,
But there it was like, oh, they just missed the train because they're out having a good time. Just catch a couple of hours of like I was like blown away by it. I was like, this culture just makes my mind just like explode.
Yep.
Anywhere you go in Japan, like, because they these cats will go out, like they will leave work. They've been working for 10, 12 hours a day. They'll go to the izakaya, drink all night, and if they miss the train, they will just crash on the street. You can just step over people. Like literally, they're just sleeping on their bags or, like you said, in their coats. And they wake up at 5 a.m., hop on the train and go home. And then or either they freshen up and go right back to work. It's the craziest fucking thing.
I couldn't do that.
And nobody steals
No
anything.
way.
They don't steal your shit.
No.
They don't. It's real.
That- it was super cool to me to like see that many people. Not like there was hundreds or nothing, but I must have seen like 20 people on that riverbed, and it's like, no, don't worry about it, man. We're just gonna close our eyes, and it's like, all right. And sure enough, we were fine. We woke up, did our thing. They were gone. They had gotten on the train, and I was like, such an interesting culture that like there's that like level of respect, even amongst, you know what I mean? Like you see someone sleeping on a riverbed out here, and you're like, oh, they're homeless, or I'm gonna go to the other side of the street, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's just a different world.
They will go to the konbinis. They'll go to the convenience stores and they'll buy like onigiri and like little snacks with palm bread. It's basically the same bread, but they will go out and they'll leave the snacks with cats while they're sleeping. They wake up and they got like onigiri when they wake up in the morning and go off to do what they got to do. It's like it would never happen in the States ever.
No.
You would never see
Yep.
that.
Yeah, my mom, she's half Japanese, so she grew up there, and so she'd go back and visit a lot. But she would say, like, one time they were lost in Tokyo, and these people walked them like 2 miles out of their way to like get them to where they needed to go, and it wasn't even like a question. It was like, oh yeah, like we'll walk you over there, or whatever. And they like 2 miles out of where they were going, like got them there, and it was just like that's just no big deal to them. So.
You're a quarter Japanese, John?
Can't you tell?
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm gonna from here on out, throughout our entire existence, I'm gonna look at you and try to find the Japanese.
So, dude.
Konnichiwa, my brother.
Yeah, dude. No joke. My grandma. So she's Okinawan. I just say Japanese to make it easy, but she would hate if I said that because they.
Oh yeah, for sure. They don't fuck with that, bro.
Yeah. So she would kill me if I said that. So she's Okinawan. But yeah, dude, no, she was a survivor through the Battle of Okinawa, like during the war. Like she has all kinds of stories, which she couldn't really talk about it, but they were hiding in caves and stuff. And dude, the Okinawa Battle of Okinawa was like right up there with Iwo Jima. Yeah, dude, what's funny is so my other side is Irish and Swedish. But it's funny, man. I've had this happen to me 3 times in my life where I've met someone who is Asian, whether it's Japanese or Thai or something, and they can spot it. I don't know how, but they know I'm somewhat Oriental
The only thing that makes me think possibly you could be a quarter Okinawan is your eyebrows. Because you have like the kind of like the the mosquito eyebrows that go up. That's it.
No, dude, you're not wrong. That's what one of them told me. One of them said that.
Yeah,
it's a trip though, man. Yeah, I had this. We have a family friend and she's Thai, and the first time I ever met her, she was like looking at me and like she just kept looking at me, and I'm just like, I was just like, and she's like, you're Asian.
That's so funny.
I was like, how do you know? Like, how do you people know this? So yeah, it's funny, but yeah, man, I'm a fourth Okinawan. So, and here, last thing, and I'll get off.
I'll be right back, fella. My camera went out.
My brother-in-law is a quarter Japanese, and he looks a quarter Japanese, and it makes no sense to me, like why I don't, but I don't. So.
It's recessive genes, man. That's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Akihabara. Do any of us know what that is?
Nope.
Probably just EKB. I would have to look it up.
That was probably an EKB question. But
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Jeremy?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you like have anything specifically you would like to ask before? Because I need to attend to my kiddo.
Dude.
Yeah.
No problem, man. I think we did a pretty deep dive into Jeremy tonight.
Yeah, I
For
think
sure.
so.
We got into punk music, man. It was great. Kesha.
Kesha and punk music and
Love it.
sleeping on riverbeds in Japan. That sounds like. I mean,
that's a Jeremy evening right there.
Oh yeah.
you just go where it goes.
Thank you for the time tonight, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for hopping on, man. It was great to catch up. It was great to see you at the show. Got to chill sooner than later again. And yeah, thanks for hopping on with us, man.
Continued success.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on, and let him know when he pops back on. He's gonna just tell him I didn't want to talk to him anymore, so like I had to leave. No.
We'll do that.
100%.
He just
You drove our guest away.
Yeah.
I drove him away.
Yeah.
I drove everybody away.
You offended
Welcome
him.
to my world.
It was great chilling with you, Jeremy. Thanks for hopping on, bro.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me again, man.
Absolutely, man.
Enjoy the rest of your eve, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Thanks,
soon,
Jeremy.
man.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, awesome. Oh, and hey, Matt, maybe you can give me contacts to these. Well, I mean, I have some of the contacts here, but like to be able to stay in contact, and especially if you're willing to edit, my friend. Oh, my friend, I
For sure.
am gonna take you up on that 100%.
Absolutely.
I'll make sure everybody has everybody's info.
Yeah.
Rad.
Nope.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, guys, take care.
See you.
Take care, man.
See you,
Have a good
brother.
night. Bye-bye. That was Jeremy of Wildfire Cigars.
All right. So now that he's gone, I'm smoking an RS-88 Maduro. Okay. No. So happy that we diverted to Japan. No, but honestly, like I wanted to ask him, but I wanted him to be able to get out all the info. And EKB, I know, was asking the questions, and trying to get a lot of the story out too. But that Revivalist, that was the first one that I had ever had of that.
Yeah.
And like, when you hit that second third on that cigar, that's a damn tasty cigar, dude. Like the first third, we're kind of just getting everything going and started. And then I hit the second third and I was like, damn, this is a vibe right now. It's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like solid. And when he was talking about doing that with the Artemis,
Artalis.
yeah, that thing.
Bear God.
Artie.
When he was talking about Artie the Bear hitting that in the second third and how it kind of just keeps on picking up, I was like, I feel like this with the Revivalist too. So that was the only question that I didn't get to ask him, if like he kind of blended both those the same way, but even though they're different blends.
What size did you smoke?
I smoked that in the Robusto.
Robusto. I think he said that was his favorite size in that blend too.
Yeah, it was nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I liked it. I was smoking that one during there. I had to put my my single out did not hold up with the glue, so I put that out like almost immediately.
Mhm.
Damn. Dude, the
It's
single, I enjoyed the hell out of that thing. It was good.
Solid smoke, man. And it has like 3 years of age on it. 2 years of age on it by now. Maybe over, maybe 3.
I'm on the RS-88 train too. I got the Connecticut. Enjoying it.
That thing's so money. I love that cigar.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lit up Ezra Zion. I think it's called Whiskey Liquid Courage. I don't know. I tried looking it up. I could not find it anywhere.
Oh, really? You couldn't find the blend of an Ezra Zion?
Couldn't find any. I couldn't even find a picture of it unless it was in like a, hey, this is part of our whatever package that's caught. But there's no info, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's good.
Yeah. You don't need to know to enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
You have to respect a guy with the conviction to grow a beard like that. You do.
Maybe, Dr. John, he has not met the beard hedger by Manscaped. So this webcam freaking sucks. Is
that why you look so different this time?
Yeah, what happened to you?
I couldn't get, like, there's something to do. I hope it's not the camera, but the
Yeah?
USB port in my camera isn't working right now.
Okay.
I
Uh-oh.
hope it's, like I said, I hope it's not the camera because I'm
Sure.
fucked for live streams. But yeah, this sucks. So I'm on my stupid laptop's webcam that is not good. So I'm either way overexposed or way underexposed.
I was like, why are you in the dark this live stream?
Fuck, dude. I'm gonna have to dick around. Like I'm gonna have
You're
to do like a live stream with not being live just to check to see if I can get it to work.
Yeah, just hop in on StreamYard. Yeah, moments before we went live, my camera stopped working. So I was like, oh cool. I was about to be in the same boat as you. And then it was like, yeah, whatever the same thing, the port. Sony Image Edge was like, yeah, it's being in use. I'm like, no, it's not. It is nowhere on screen. And then randomly it woke up. I don't know what's going on.
My laptop had an update. I don't know if that could have had something to do with it. I don't know. It'll take some troubleshooting. My wife's fucking a wizard with that stuff, so I'll just put it onto her.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was great to have Jeremy on. It was great to have another guest on. It was cool. It's like it's so casual with Jeremy. It's like I've known him for so long. It's like, hey, I want you on. He's like 100%. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. That was awesome. Really enjoyed that.
It's a great perspective too, and a nice shift from a retailer that started a cigar brand to just somebody who formerly worked for a cigar brand that has started his own cigar brand. Like between him and Sanj, man, it's been a solid run of guests
For sure.
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
His relationship with Caldwell and how it didn't, implode or anything. I thought that was nice.
It shows you the character of both people.
Yeah, like I would never, if you would have said that Robert Caldwell was the guy that was like, yeah, you should totally do this and you should work on our stuff until production starts. Like, I probably wouldn't have guessed that.
God damn.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's either
Wowzers.
crows or fucking crotch rockets. Jesus. But yeah, I like Dr. John Larson's comment here. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this comment.
Your video was great, DJ.
Thank you.
Man. That's super good. Super good.
It's
Yeah,
it's getting well received so far. I'm liking it. I haven't had any negative comments, which is good.
That's good.
I'm hoping they respond. I'm secretly hoping.
I mean, if they did, I don't see how it would be anything super negative unless they just defend that they somehow did transform the content, which it's impossible to claim
for
that.
sure.
After like the entire premise of the video, like for them to say that would be insane.
Right, yeah. And well, even like I said, what's it called? Zeal and Cigars Daily both did the trick. That's all they really had to do. And it would have been transformative, but they just took it. Which, I mean, if that's the game, we could all be PewDiePie. Like,
Yeah.
anybody or any channel.
Yeah. Anybody watching this live stream and don't know what we're talking about, DJ released a video on his channel today. Watch it. It's very very enlightening about certain things within creating content. It gets into minutia, like content creating minutia, but it's important. It deals with morals. It deals with a lot of stuff that we deal with and things that we can do, can't do, should do, shouldn't do. And it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and if you look at TikTok, it's really delving into just they'll play someone's whole ass video and then they're like knitting next to it. And I'm like, that's what it's going to devolve into, and no real content. We're all just going to have different Fast and the Furious playing while we do something next to it. It's like, that's not content creation. This is just all theft.
Yeah.
And I know that our niche of a category, right, is not the only one, because there's a lot of this going on right now with, who is it? XQC, right?
XQC, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff with XQC and like streamers that are playing clips and then just going, hey, chat, that's wild.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? That's not transformative either. And I mean, like, there are a lot of streamers that I pop into every so often and watch their content, and all they're doing is just playing a clip and going, haha, that's crazy. Or, haha, that's crazy. And it's like, yeah, I get it. streaming's a little bit different because you're doing a 3-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, and people are legitimately in your chat sending you clips to react to.
Right.
So like, you can only go crazy about so many clips, right?
Yeah.
But then the people that are making videos and more importantly shorts on things and then not making it transformative, that's a whole different story where their face isn't even in it or they just say something in the background, right? And I mean, even with YouTube shorts now, you're not going to be able to have links at all.
Yeah, they just removed
in
that,
them.
yeah.
So at the end of the month, no more links in YouTube shorts. So it's, it's cracking down everywhere on all the things.
Well, yeah, and with that, like the same thing I was kind of talking about in the video, there were so many channels who their whole purpose is how to grow on YouTube, and that's the only way they grew is because they made videos on how they grew on YouTube. There was dozens. Links are dead. Links don't work anymore. It's like no one was clicking on links and shorts anyway because you had to hit the hamburger, open the description, and then click the link. No one knew that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that was even the thing with my company I was working for. They're like, yeah, you could add links to the products. Like we can, but no one will find them.
And more importantly, YouTube's purpose isn't to allow you to link other content in your short. YouTube's purpose is to make it as easy as possible for somebody to go flip, done, flip, done, flip, keep it going, keep it moving. That's the whole point. YouTube's like, I don't want them clicking on a hamburger, going to a link, and then coming off of our site on Amazon.
Right. Well, and it got so bad, like when Twitch got bought out by Amazon, people were streaming on Twitch and they were making YouTube videos just saying like, hey guys, I'm live on Twitch. And YouTube got so mad that if that became a bannable offense. Like if you made a video that sole purpose was to take someone off the platform, that's a strike. And I don't know if they've ever reversed that policy. So it's bad. Like they want you on the platform, and obviously they do because that's where they get ad revenue. Like, why would I want you to use my platform to send someone somewhere else? Like,
to go elsewhere. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, EKB, you're back, brother.
Yeah, man. This heat out here is like frying my phone. That's why I cut out each time, dude. So like my phone literally shuts down. I literally put it in the refrigerator while I was making tea. So
shit, man.
I've had to do that with cameras. It works.
It works like a charm,
Jack.
Yeah. We back in business. What I miss, man?
He just left because he said he was tired of talking to you about Japan, and he bounced.
Gotta do it. Happens all the time.
Yeah, he had to go, spend time with his daughter, have a nice little Friday evening,
family time.
Yeah,
man. Hey, that was gold though, man.
Yeah,
that was gold.
He put in 2 hours. There.
Can't much more.
And now for the next 45 minutes, we get to talk about the Golden Knights and their Stanley Cup championship. We get to talk about movies. We get to talk about the cucumber next to John. We get to talk about all kinds of stuff.
Pickle. Long live the pickle.
Yeah, the pickle.
Long
the pickle.
live the pickle.
LL
pickle.
Long live the pickle. That's the funniest shit.
Pickle army out here, man.
It's been, what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks since we hit the live?
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah, at least it might be 4.
It's almost a full month. It would be a full month if we did it next week. Yeah, for sure.
So what's going on? What's new with everybody's lives? EKB, you're moving, so you're out of you're out of the base.
Man, it's crazy, dude. Like this view is gonna be gone, man. I'm heartbroken, to be honest with you guys. Like it's crazy.
Sure.
Yeah,
So do you know, like, you'll be in another, like, house setup, condo setup? Do you know the living situation?
We have no idea. So to kind of give the overview, my wife, there was a new job opening for like a general manager position. So like she will be over all the Navy Exchange store locations in Sasebo. That's going to be her new position. So like it was like a huge pay raise. It was a huge promotion.
Yeah.
So she was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. Let's see if we can get it. And she got it. And so now, like, once we did that, they fast tracked. Okay, sorry. We'll get to him. So, that was my son. Sorry about that. So
Okay, man.
the main thing is, like, once she got the position, it was only like 3 people that applied for it. and she blew it out of the water. So they were just
Awesome.
like, okay, fast track, October, you guys are gonna be in Sasebo. So it's like no time to really set up for anything. We got to start breaking down everything here. We got to start selling the cars and doing the whole nine. And we're pretty much going to be in the Navy Lodge in the hotel. So I have no idea what's going to happen as far as like doing reviews and all that kind of shit. Then we got to get to Sasebo and find a home. So we got to find a new place to live. We got to, do the searching, and it's going to be a whirlwind, y'all. It's going to be crazy as hell. Thank you, Pan. Appreciate you, brother. So it's going to be a lot, man. Like, we have no idea where we're going to stay. We don't have any. We've never been to Sasebo. We have no idea what it looks like. Nothing. Everything is going to be brand new. We don't know what the store is like. We don't know what the base is like. We don't know what the neighborhood. We just know it's in Nagasaki. It's close to Fukushima, and it's close to Nagasaki proper. That's all we know. Everything else is just like hit the ground running. We don't know what the schools are like. Nothing, bro.
Dude, it's gonna be a lot of fast adaptation there for sure. Jeez Louise.
So, and I think in 2 weeks, my wife is going with her DVP, the divisional manager, whatever, like the big boss cat. She's going there with him for like a few days just to check out the store and just to see what's going on. And when she goes in there, it's like throwing it to the sharks. It's like, hey, this is your, these are your stores. You're running this. Let's go. So wish us luck, man. This shit is gonna be insane.
Yeah, man.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm sure for like a solid month you'll be adjusting. Once you get there, and I'm sure things will settle down. I'm sure you'll find a new spot to do reviews, to smoke, and all that stuff. But it'll be a whirlwind, I'm sure.
It's gonna be crazy, bro. Like, and how do you beat this? Like, you can't.
You can't.
You know what I mean? You can't beat this shit.
No,
So,
man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I'm scared and I'm excited at the same time.
I'll send you my.
I mean,
what is this?
He said he'll send you his pickle.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Penetration.
Yes. There you go.
I knew right as I said that. That was that.
LLTP. No, it was good. I ain't want to AO in that moment, man, because it was like.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck, dude.
For sure.
DJ, what's the feedback been like after that video release, man? Once it went out, what's
all
like?
Good so far. I actually I haven't checked the held comment section yet, but everyone else has been pretty supportive of it.
That's what you got to worry about. Held for review.
Yeah, I haven't hit that. I just thought about it.
Yeah, that'll be fun if anything's in there.
Nothing so far. What I was really surprised at is the good reception of the Pravada video. To be honest, that's the one that I was worried about my subs dropping and not gaining.
Worried about seeing the subs drop by like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, all right, this climb to 5K is gonna get paused right here. And no, sure enough, people came out and they're like, I buy Pravada, and I was like, oh.
Nah, dude, they got a whole cult going, man. There's no way you're losing that shit. You might actually increase subscribers.
But would that cult subscribe to DJ?
Yeah,
prior to this video?
Yeah. He's
I don't see why not.
Well, because when I first made my video, the little gerbil started attacking me, and I'm sure the majority of their fan base is great. They've all been nice, normal people, but there's some, like, even when so we walked by Brian at PCA, and he like made a big thing, like, hey, I blocked you on Instagram, right? So I made a comment on one of his most recent videos, kind of just echoing that, like, just as like a hey, hi type thing, right? And immediately,
right.
well, you shouldn't have played stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm like, you have zero context of what's going on. It was callback. You weren't there. Calm down. Like,
that's
damn,
hilarious, man.
And that's the part that I'm like, God, you guys need to chill. Like, it's
but I like the new one though,
down.
because like
the
way you and Brian went was really like, it was really platonic, and it was kind of friendly back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So like it's a good thing. Shout out to D Love, man. What's up, homie? But it's
Shout
it's
out
one of
to
those
G.
things with the new video, like you really are like, I'm calling you out by name. I'm putting this right here, using your own words to explain my
Sure.
point right here, and I'm
Yeah.
actually transforming this video and showing you what I'm talking about. I just think it was
Right.
genius, and
Thank you.
and you know, but at the same time, it's like you really like in the face. So you wonder if somebody's gonna be like, oh shit, he put it in the face. Now, like if people are gonna really get mad, but you can't get mad at the truth. It wasn't like you said
Right.
anything real foul. You know, you didn't shit on them at all. You just like, hey, this is fucked up. Point
This is
blank.
what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to make sure, which is why it took so long to edit that video, is every time I wanted a point, I wanted them talking about it first, or at least in relationship to. And I wasn't even going to make the video, but I made the first one about the TikTok channel. And then sure enough, the next day I saw their Arnold Schwarzenegger clip and I was like, oh,
Let's
okay,
go.
well, let's go down this hole. And then it did. And like I said, I hope they make good content and they continue to grow and they continue to do their bit with their cigars, as just make it their own content. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I wasn't, like I commented on them, I'm not trying to expose or take anyone down. I just want to show people what's going on, not just in the cigar industry, but in social media in general. And they have to be a really good example of it, just sitting right there.
Right there.
So I
Yeah.
went for it.
It was hanging fruit. It was
Yeah.
right there.
It was just there, and I'm like, perfect.
Yeah,
So-
because how much you want to bet that if they had like a reaction video or like we tried this video, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
No, because
not for the sake because they wouldn't be breaking any rules, but for the sake that it wouldn't have blown up.
yeah. Well, even then, they could have done, and then going back and forth, or reacting to Steve Harvey of why he does cigar yoga and how they talk about it. And all those things would be transformative fair use.
Mhm.
And they could have even used his beginning clip to get the attention as the hook to the short, and it's probably would have done well because YouTube is still every now and then steroid shotting the shit out of shorts to make people get off TikTok. But yeah, it just depends. And then the real thing is with blowing up, it's all engagement based. So if you can fabricate a comment section, you could get the same viral of what they got from just taking content and still make it their own.
Do those videos, because I haven't looked at any of them. Do those videos with like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and then the Pratt videos and all that shit? Do they actually get people commenting on that? Does that actually get traction with comments, or is it just like people watching and moving on? Okay, I was curious.
The Arnold one at the time had 660,000 likes.
Like, no, not likes, but like people.
Yeah,
talking.
I can look it up. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
No, because that's one of the
like.
things.
What would you even say to that?
People love Arnold, man. They love Arnold. Or they like talking about how you're gonna die because you smoke cigars. That's the most common thing. So like the four things.
Get into the comments.
Yeah, it's like I like cigars. Fuck you. How about weed? And then I like Arnold. Is how not just them specifically, but shorts that really blow up.
General.
That's the demographic. Yeah. Like that's what makes them work. The people who tell us we want to die, it's like, yeah, whatever. But also comment that like 4 more times to get some friends to say it too, just so it pops off. Like that's what you want.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me the most about it was I remember when we were getting ready to launch Lobos, which is a collaboration that LeBron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a couple of other celebrities have in the tequila world right now. And when we were getting ready to launch it, Arnold came onto a Zoom call with the entire sales team out here in Vegas and basically did the cigar rolling in the tequila story. And it was maybe 3 weeks before it hit social media. I remember because I took a photo of it on the Zoom call. And I was just like, man, like if I could ever get him to do that again and put it on the channel, that would be amazing. And then it hit social media.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody just ran with it. And I'm just like, I remember my wife and I were talking about it. She's like, you should do a reaction to the whole entire Arnold thing. And I was like, that's not my shtick. Like I don't do like the reaction content. I also don't generally call out people that have poor or just like eclectic beverage pairing practices in that way. Like if somebody has a video of them dipping their Gurkha into Grand Marnier and then smoking it, no big, like you enjoy your cigars how you enjoy your cigars. I'm going to drink the cognac and I'm going to smoke the cigar. I'm not going to dip it into the cognac or the grandma, right?
Yeah.
And then like for that to be what it was and for you to talk about it, just, I think that there's a certain point in time where like had it have been transformative, it still would have been completely acceptable. But to just post it with captions, you're just piggybacking off of that, that virality of that video.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
I mean, and Zeal did it recently. They got like 5,000 views. They even used his face in the thumbnail to drive clicks, and it's them just doing it.
Yeah, which would have been great.
A year ago, Daly did it, and he got 165,000 views. So, like, it's not that it wouldn't have done well. You can still do the content, and they just didn't. It's way easier to go to, YouTube to mp4.com and just.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, everybody's part of the game, man. Everybody got their ways. You did a great job with the video. That's the most important thing. Like just the
100%.
from the thumbnail to the editing on it to just the script of it, everything was money, dude. Seriously, and I'm not saying that to gas you.
I just saw your comment, Keelan, on his video. Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah. I'm just sitting back watching. I'm just waiting to see how this goes. All smiles.
Yeah.
This is great. This is my favorite show. I love this.
What up, D? It's good to see D-Love in the chat.
D-Love, where the hell you been, man? You been doing some science experiments or some shit, man? What the hell is going on? Taking over the world?
He broke his hand or his wrist.
Yeah, he can't show the hand. Man.
Oh man, love D-Love.
Thanks for the congrats, man. Like, yo, I'm so proud of the wife, man. I can't front. The lady is amazing, dude. Like the chick doesn't know how smart she is. She's honestly the smartest person in my family, and she's just so down to earth, man. And she goes into these interviews like, "Oh, I'm never gonna get this job." I'm like, "Yo, you crush it every fucking time." Like, that's why we're in California. That's why we were in Japan. That's why we're going to Sasebo now, because she's just a fucking beast, yo. And she don't even know it. It's like Cocaine Bear, like doing interviews and shit.
Hell yeah. That's the best, man. Congrats. Yeah.
Hey, good job getting rid of that deadwood, man.
Hey guys, I hate saying this, but I'm gonna hop off early tonight, man. It's so hot. I'm about to pass out here. So the tower floor fan
man.
is not doing it. So, I've lasted as long as I could.
You did 2 hours in the heat, man. It's all love, man. We understand. Trust me. You see, I got an umbrella, bro. Trust me.
I'm gonna get one of those iced up New Airs that DJ's got or something, man. It's stronger than this tower fan that's not built for this, but
yeah, you get a good like hour of comfort out of it. Now I'm surviving.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm gonna head out a little early. So
hey,
see you, John.
No doubt, man.
Get inside, cool down.
Thanks for being a soldier, man.
Yeah, man. It was a good time, y'all. Yeah. Always, yeah. Always a good time. I'll see y'all later.
Later.
Peace, bro.
Sure. Later.
A cucumber and a pickle, same thing. It's just one's been same thing.
Saturated cucumber.
You can see John's face as he was signing out, like, fuck this. Like, fuck the pickle cucumber talk.
Thank God.
I'm dying out here. These fuckers talking about a pickle.
But people would remember it.
Yes,
always.
Yes, they
Just
will.
walk on subscribe to the Cigar Pickle if you haven't already.
And DJ is almost at 5K.
Yeah, getting there.
There.
EKB, you got your next milestone coming.
Yeah, how close are you to 3? Because it's like right there.
Right there, right?
Hey, if one more person that is in this chat goes to hit the subscribe button on the Vintage Cigar, I'll be at 3K. So
there you go.
any of y'all that's listening right now, just go Literally went away. So any one of y'all go hit that subscribe right now if you haven't subscribed, yo.
I just hit it, bro.
Subscribe to
I just like,
About fucking time, man.
yeah, right.
Oh shit.
The South got something to say. 3,000. Yeah.
Looks like Pan's off as well.
Good to see you, Pam.
Shouts out to you,
Go
Ben.
find this
Thanks for
track.
coming in,
See you,
bro,
man.
as usual. Yeah, man, there was so many people, like, I didn't want to interrupt Jeremy at all, man, but there was so many people showing love through in the chat, man. And like, the stuff that Jeremy was talking about was pure gold, dude. That was just great
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
I just didn't want to interrupt, man. So everybody that was commenting and, you know, showing love to everybody in here, thank y'all, man. I just didn't want to call out names during that moment.
For sure.
Oh, sure. Hey, DJ, you want to talk about your rebranding here?
Rebranding.
Rebranded. Yeah.
You
yeah.
provider now?
Oh, dude, that was the funniest shit, dude. That was the fucking funniest shit that DJ did.
That's
'Cause
good.
I was like, yeah, man, this guy from Crux reached out to me. He's gonna send me samples, and he mentioned in his email that he loves my dog.
like your dog.
Love the dog, by the way. Like
Yeah.
5 minutes after that, I
Oh,
see
yeah.
DJ posted that like rebranding to Cigar Chihuahua thing. You're like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's
man.
fucking hilarious. And like the faces on your dogs, each one was like,
Yeah.
you know, just like just so out.
It's
you know.
because as soon as I got it, I grabbed my phone and I was like chasing around. I was like, stand still. You're not, it's nothing bad is happening.
You're not in trouble.
Yeah, you're not in trouble. I just want a picture for a joke. Stop moving. And then they got super excited because I was doing it. I'm like, no, we're done. Yeah, man.
I had a
Chihuahua hound / Chihuahua lab.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, his dad was a dreamer.
Can you do me a favor, sweetheart? I have a thing of tea. It's a big metal cup that's in the refrigerator. Can you bring that to me? Thank you, baby. Daughter brought me some grapes.
Yeah, we've had some names in the chat, man. We had Cigar Head Fred for a little bit.
Yeah, man. I want
And-
to. That's
and-
one
and
person I want to
Cigar
give
Brother.
a shout out to. What up, Stick
Yeah.
God? But yeah, I had a pit bull, man, like that we named Fife Dog from Tribe Called Quest, man. We couldn't bring him to Japan, so I couldn't do the cigar pit bull at all, man. We had to rehome him before we.
Fuck, that sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you had no choice. You had no
Yeah.
freaking choice.
right.
Had no choice, man. That hurt like a motherfucker, man. He's such a good dog. But like the dude we rehomed him to, man, wanted a really cool pit bull, and like he loves that dog, man. And so like he sends us videos to this day with like the dog on the beach with Fife running, on the beach and they playing catch together. So it's one of those things like I feel good about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those you got to give away your pet. That shit is crucial.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah,
daughter
that's
is
a
like,
good-
oh, I want a new pet. We can't do it out here. These pets are
No.
thousands of dollars to get a pet out here.
Yeah.
It's
Jeez.
What
literally
reviews
thousands.
you guys have coming up?
Oh shit.
Let me see. I got like 3 car reviews that are gonna pop up within the next couple weeks for sure.
Damn, what about I got some shit lined up, man. I got some cool shit lined up, but I don't know off the top of my head. Yo, Peter sent me the craziest fucking bomb. Like,
Yeah, same. I have to shoot that tomorrow.
dog. This motherfucker
Shit's
sent
wild.
me a unicorn. So that shit is coming ASAP.
Oh shit!
There
Well,
you
you got
go.
the unicorn, huh?
Dude.
There you go.
Fucking Peter, man.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's
Peter sent me some crazy shit too, man. I think that the box weighed 4.9 pounds or something like that. Thank you,
5
Peter.
pounds
Massive.
of cigars.
Yeah.
Dog.
Jeez. And there's
I was at
probably
work.
no
I opened the box at work, and I was like, I wanted to cry. I'm dead serious, man. If I wasn't a gangster, I would have been crying at work, yo. That shit was so fucking lovely, man. Peter, yo,
Yeah.
no exaggeration, dude. I was misty. That's why I got the shades on, so y'all can't see me crying.
Yeah,
I still haven't even opened it. 'Cause I was
Arigato gozaimasu.
because I felt it and I was just like, yeah, I gotta wait until I can film this. Like
sure,
this
man.
is wild. I still don't know what's in it, Pete, but I'm sure that it's impressive.
I
It'll
can't.
be
It'll be
impressive
worth
for
the
sure,
wait.
man.
This tea's still hot as a bitch.
Yeah, so there will be a special video for Peter this week, probably for the Sunday release, because I released the Eternal for the Romeo y Julieta today. So I'll probably shoot Peter's video tomorrow, edit it down. That'll be Sunday. And then throughout the week, I have one other new one from Crowned Heads I want to get to. I have a Luciano ATL in the Trouble that I want to do. And then I have a couple filmed for Unicorn Hunters that I want to do because, you know, I haven't been able to really post too many of them in the last month or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of old school hip hop in the new Ninja Turtles movie.
I took the kids to see that already, man. I can't even front. I love that. And when the Wu-Tang joint came on, I'm literally in there, like, because they got the Tribe Called Quest joint in there, like, can I kick it? Like, I'm in there rapping that shit. Like, I'm rapping out loud with the shit because I'm like the only, old school hip hop dad that's in there the whole time, and I'm like getting hyped with the music. But honestly, it's a great fucking movie if you guys haven't seen it yet. That shit is amazing.
Is that animated?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's kind of like they took kind of the same vein as with the Spider-Man joint. Like it's a real
the Spider-Verse,
quirky-
yeah.
Made it a
it's-
metaverse.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like they took claymation markers
Yeah.
and like just like real sketchy type drawing the whole time, and they put it all together. Like it's phenomenal, dude. It's really good, and the music in there is just outstanding.
So
I gotta
yeah,
check it out.
yeah, they're doing this new trend where they combine 2D and 3D, like Puss in Boots did it first, and it's a weird, really cool look.
Is
Like,
it kind of like
it's-
rotoscoping a little bit?
I don't know, but it's
I don't know how to
it's
describe it.
very it's different, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Like when you see the turtles, like when you look at them, like it almost looks like claymation. It almost looks like they use their fingers to make them and make the turtles.
Yeah.
So they stand
Yeah, I
out
think
and they're
that-
bold as fuck.
Justin said it right. It's like more like manga, right? Where everybody has like that anime type look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the background, it looks like it's almost unfinished. You can still see the pencil lines, you can see the marker lines in it. Like it's surreal. It's outstanding, man.
That's cool.
What about
That's cool.
Oppenheimer? Have you guys seen that yet?
I
yet,
haven't
I've
seen
been
any of the other new movies. I didn't see Barbie. I didn't see Oppenheimer. I didn't see because I'm not really the biggest what's the cat Nolan? I'm not the biggest Nolan fan. I watch his shit, but it's like I wasn't like, okay, I gotta go see this shit, you know. And
Yeah.
it's
I want to watch that new
no,
Dracula, The Voyage.
That one looks
thing.
pretty cool.
yeah, people are saying that's good too. So honestly,
Yeah,
I've been
the
playing
last-
Red Dead Redemption. That's all I've been doing. So I don't give a fuck about anything else.
It's a way to do it,
Yeah,
man. Just
the-
get
the
lost
last
in
time-
an open world game.
The last
Hell
time we had
yeah.
a chance to go see a movie, it was Oppenheimer or Mission Impossible, and we made the wrong choice and saw the new Mission Impossible, which was
That was the wrong choice.
yeah. He's too old now.
It's evident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's too old. Now.
I did watch the new Mission Impossible, and yeah, Tom Cruise looked old for like the first time, really.
Yes, it was the first time I was like, oh shit, the baby blood stopped working. What happened?
He did.
Tom Cruise,
the
your Black Magic.
adrenochrome- Bro, he had adrenochrome in the Maverick, but yeah, no, Mission Impossible. He looked old as hell.
Yeah, it was kind
My
of
kids saw that, man, and I didn't see it. So I didn't. My wife took the kids, and I didn't get to see that shit. So.
No, and it was really long. Like it was the most un-Mission Impossible Mission Impossible movie. I'm like, this is a part
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
I gotta get in the shade, man. Hold on for a sec, man. I'm dying. I'm about to pass out like
Look like you
a
roasted,
pickle
What
out
you
there.
gotta do.
I'm cooking. You see this? Hold on. Yeah.
Do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, that was a sad movie.
Because they're like shit. They probably made like 6 of them now, right?
Yeah, I think they're on
Like-
6.
It's like now it's like the new Fast and Furious. You know, it's like just all right. Here's a new one. You know.
Yeah, and it was just weird because I'm like, what? There was like just kind of awkward acting, and I'm like, in this movie? Oh, okay, it was odd.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we made the wrong choice. I should have saw Oppenheimer.
Well, another long movie though.
Yeah.
That looks better. That looks more comfortable.
Bro, I'm like 3 shades darker already, man. I was out here cooking, bro. Tan like a motherfucker.
I wonder where Justin's at. Where it's storming.
Yeah, where the hell are you, man?
Yeah, not Texas. Did you see that graphic? It was like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was a perfect circle around Texas, and the entire rest of the country got rain but us, and it was a literal circle around Texas. I was like, damn, yeah, we need that.
That's funny.
It's dry as hell.
God, it's like, fuck Texas. Y'all got the Cowboys
Dude,
out there. Fuck
I
Texas.
saw a picture yesterday in my neighborhood. Someone posted, and one of their flex joints to their house had like a 6-inch gap in it, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's not good." I go,
Yeah, no.
you could see
No.
the paper behind the brick. I was like, yeah, it's hot, and that's pretty much all everyone said. It's like it's just split. Fill it back up.
Oof.
Mm-mm.
Whew, God, man. I didn't realize how much I was cooking until I got in the shade, bro.
Much better.
God damn. Yeah, man.
Later, Justin.
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, Just is in Oklahoma. He's an Okie.
Oh, yeah. Figured it would be hot out there too. At least y'all getting rain though. We're about to get it too, man. It's been like 2 typhoons out here, man. It's another one coming for us.
Damn.
So it's beautiful right now, but in the next couple of days we're gonna get hit. There's supposed to be like 100-mile-an-hour wind, shit like that. It's supposed to get crazy in Japan. Flooding.
Oof.
Cyclone weather right there.
Yeah, we don't need that. Little rain would be nice. We got legitimately
Yeah, a little rain.
5 minutes of rain is what we got the other night. It just dumped and left. I'm like, all right, thanks.
Just to make a mess. There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
Couple
I can run my
mudslides,
hose.
you know.
Yeah, I was like, I can run my hose for 5 less minutes tomorrow. That's about it.
Hey, light up that
Oh,
Cameroon,
Lord,
man. That's
1903.
it's
Yeah.
a Cameroon. You'll be happy, man. You're good to go.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with La Aurora, especially when they do Cameroon. They like them and Fuente do Cameroon the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
I like that definition, Cameroon.
Oh yeah, that one too. You know, I smoked that cigar. It was good. It was good.
You did?
I had
I still got to hit him up, man.
Yeah. I just got him in, so I smoked him day of. It was good. I was hoping for better, but it was good. So maybe like I have a few more. I'm letting rest for a little bit longer until I review them. So we'll see how they do.
For sure.
Did you try the Genesis from the show yet?
Not yet.
No.
That's one on the
No.
docket.
I wish I had the actual band instead of the show band because I'm like, this is less cool.
Mhm.
Not as good for the thumbnail.
No, I'm like, it just says, what's your definition? I'm like, I want the whole purple everything, man.
Mhm.
The real Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. What's range?
Yeah. So for reviews, I think I have a Dunbarton review coming up pretty soon. Of
Which one are you doing?
One of his newer cigars. Well, newer sizes of one of his cigars that came out.
Little Papa Saka.
I got a little Papa Saka action coming out here.
That's what I was just smoking. I was just smoking the Papa Saka. That just finished up, man. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was smoking it during this thing, so it wasn't like a review, but I like the double Corona better, man.
I said the same exact fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. This gives away the review. I don't give a shit, but there's just something about like I don't like double Coronas usually, but that blend in that size is just special.
Perfect, man. It's perfect.
I thought going into it that I would have liked the Papa Saka more because it's a more manageable size.
Yeah.
Same.
not the case. It's
Nah,
not as
man,
special.
you can't top the original with this one, man. It's certain cigars you can't beat the original. That was the first release for a reason. So
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the Papa Saka, but I just thought it wasn't anywhere touching that double Corona, man.
No, and it's seriously like it's a cigar that I'll probably like smoke more frequently because of the size. Like even though I don't enjoy it as much, because it's a like I could light it up right now if I wanted to because it's so
Yeah,
much
for
more
sure.
manageable. But that double Corona, it's like no, if I didn't start this live stream smoking that damn thing, I'm not smoking it because you can't.
You can't. You gotta have time, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we
What you
got
got
a
in hand,
football
Michael?
related question. What's up?
Oh, let's get it. I was like, what you got in hand? What are you smoking on before we get into the
What am I
football?
smoking right now?
Yeah.
The RS88 Maduro.
Maduro.
Oh,
Good cigar.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna dive back in and grab one of the La Patissiers from the show, but I figure I'll save that for review in the new size. And yeah, or it was gonna be the Aramas. That was gonna be my second one tonight, but I already smoked one of those on a live, and I still haven't done the review yet on it. It's not as good as the original Bosphorus, unfortunately.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's the
I
next
liked it because it
value,
was different, though. I liked it because it was completely different. That
Yeah,
was my
yeah.
man.
I mean, once again, like I'm sure I'll probably feel the same way about the Papa Saka as you guys, but with the Aramas, it's like I feel like the original Bosphorus is just kind of where my heart's at.
Before we get into the football thing, did I tell you guys the Audemars story? I think I told it on my live. I don't think I told it on this.
No.
No.
What is
All
it?
right, so check it, man. I've been giving out cigars to like my coworkers. So there's this guy from Hawaii that I really dig at work, and he's getting into cigars. So I've like, been trying to give him like some of the best shit. Like I gave him like a Sober Mesa, the blue, and I gave him the La Carême. I gave him some other really really good cigars, and he's been coming back to me like great. So it's another guy in the Japanese, and there's like this Japanese Facebook group that I'm a part of out here. So he's been coming into the gym. And he was like talking like, oh, talking all big about cigars. Like, yeah, I smoked this Romeo and Julieta, da 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 da. So I was like, yo, I got some cigars I want you to try, man. And just, and he was saying that he was really into the flathead and he liked the bigger ring gauges. So I had a 770. So I was like, let me give you that. But I'm also gonna give you this this Oscar Adamas. He's the son of CAO. He's the son of the guy that that made all the CAO stuff. He was like, okay, cool. Gave it to him the next day, and when I gave him the Oscar, he was like, it was the Aramas. He was like, oh man, I haven't seen this in years, man. I haven't smoked this in so long. I'm like, oh, for real? He was like, man, it's been forever since I had this one, man. He was like, man, it's a classic right here. And I'm like, you do know this just came out like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I just let him go on with it. Oh man, I haven't had this one in so long. He's like, man, he came back a couple days later. He's like, oh man, this is great, man. This is just like when I had it the first time. I'm like, good on you, bro.
All right, man. Happy for you.
I didn't want to break it to him. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
That's
Enjoy
funny.
that.
It's like, what the fuck did he think it was? It's such a unique, colorful ass band.
Yeah.
Like nothing else looks like it.
Nothing looks like that shit, and it's brand spanking new. But he was just capping. It was just all cap, and I'm just letting him go, man. I'm just like, all right, brother, you got it.
Yeah, for sure. But talking about our favorite teams and all that,
Football.
might as well start with Michael and his New York Football Giants.
That's right. That's right. 100%. Danny Dimes.
That's his team. My team's the Chiefs. I am not a bandwagoner. I'm a lifelong fan.
Since Mahomes got drafted.
Elvis Gerback was a quarterback when I started following the Chiefs.
Damn, that's a name I have not heard. Okoye.
Okoye, man. My favorite jersey. My favorite fucking jersey.
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
AP, yeah, Tony Gonzalez too. Yeah. Joe. When I started, like my first memories of football, Joe Montana was on my team. That's early 90s.
Yeah, you always forget about Joe went over there. I always forget about that. He's still a Niner in my head, man.
No. In my head too.
I'm anybody but the Cowboys, man. So I used to be a Colts fan, but I'm anybody but the Cowboys at this point.
You're a fucking Colts fan? I didn't know that.
I was, man. Like I was back when I loved Peyton Manning, Joseph Adai, motherfucking Reggie Wayne. That was that was that old running gun, the gunslingers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the gangster? I can't even remember his name right now, dude. The quiet dude that everybody hated, but he was such a great wide receiver. What the fuck is his
Marvin
name?
Harrison. Marvin Harrison.
I love Harrison, man. But he hated everybody. Harrison hated everybody. He would just sit on the other end of the bench and just not talk to anybody, and then he would come and just cook everybody. I love Harrison, man. That was my Scott Saturday, but I stopped watching football a long time ago, man. Oh, we got an Eagles fan in the house.
I'm sorry, Peter. I'm sorry. About the
sorry,
Super
Pete.
Bowl. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude.
That's my cousin's team, man.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham. That was back in the day when I used to watch the Eagles.
Oh yeah, man. Randall Cunningham, freaking Reggie White.
Reggie, yeah. So that was the good old days. I don't know about. Well, I mean, they had a good run. They got a chip recently, so it's not too bad. You can't feel too bad for Eagles.
Yeah, and they had Andy Reid for almost a decade, so they're
Dude,
good.
man, what's crazy is like it's almost football season, man. Like I feel like this year just started.
Preseason just started. Today was the first week of games.
Shit, man.
Mm-hmm. And that explains a lot too, Peter. I thought that you had commented, you had sent me the text about why you saved me for last to bomb out everybody, but now I understand better. It's a
little
division
friendly
rivalry.
Sorry, Peter. Sorry, man. But Stick God Travels, he wants to know any advice for viewers just starting up.
Consistency is key, man. That's been my biggest holdback for sure.
Yeah,
keep putting out your reviews. Be yourself, man. You got a great channel. Just keep consistently putting out reviews. Like if you can set up a schedule to like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever the case may be, just be as consistent as possible and get the best cigars you can get. And even if you're gonna do like older cigars, like it's okay to go back and do older cigars that people love. They'll still watch it. If you're doing like the brands that people want to see, then they'll show up, and then do a few that you just want to do for yourself. That's gonna be the main thing. But be consistent with it, bro. That's gonna be the main thing that's gonna put you out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Content is king. Like
content is king, bro.
That's
and get on shorts right now. Start making your shorts. Whatever type of shorts you can do. Yeah. That's really where YouTube is going right now, man. Start your shorts. Pumping them. Just crank them. I wish I had the time to do it right now. So like go ahead and just surpass us, man. Just make your content, make your shorts, get it out there as consistent as possible. The people will come.
Yeah. Worry about the minutia, like the thumbnails, the efficiency and stuff like that as you go along. Just provide little tweaks, and then as uniform as you can get it. You look at Matt's thumbs with Cigar Hound Dog; they're very consistent formats. Mine are very consistent mostly, unless I'm doing something other than a review. But like, if it's review stuff, make it very consistent. If it's something a little bit more off the wall, be creative, have fun with it, and like the more that you dabble, I feel like the more that you learn. Like I always try to learn something new if I'm doing something different. Like even with the coffee one that I just did this past week, adding a paint strip to it, or something like that was different.
Yeah.
Also, and this is not for us, but comment on our channels, watch our stuff, and then the algorithm is going to pick you up and attach you to our videos and shit like that. So people will watch us. Next thing you know, you're going to start popping up in other people's feeds. You've watched Cigar Hound Dog. So, that type of thing.
Also
play the system.
Also comment. So like other commenters could be like, oh, let's check. Who's this guy? Let's check him out. Same deal.
Yeah. And looking at your channel, you got to make custom thumbnails.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
make a thumbnail.
Yeah, you got to make thumbnails that are clickable.
That's Tim Rollins, Tiny Tim. He's been doing it for a long time. That's his I love the guy, but that's his biggest drawback. He doesn't do custom. Well, I think he started doing them, but for the longest time, for 8 years, he didn't. It's important.
No, he just shows up and expects to have an audience. And I mean, I haven't looked at his analytics, but I would assume he's not growing very fast anymore.
It's sad,
Those thumbnails
sad,
make a difference, man. Like, put something in the thumbnail too. Like, is this the best cigar out there? Some whatever shit that you can do to draw people in and say, oh, I'm gonna click this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is a $7 cigar. Is it great? And whatever, do something to draw people into it and make them click. Those thumbnails go a long fucking way.
Yeah, it could be clickbaity, but as long as there's, like DJ was talking about, as long as there's food at the end, as long as they get what the clickbait is grasping them to get,
Yeah.
It's good.
I hope that advice helps, man.
Hopefully he's still watching. We are down to 17 people now. What are you smoking, Texas? Oh, Sweet Jane. Okay.
Gee, you just
He's
how
burning through
much
those Deadwoods.
Deadwoods you buy, man? Keeping that whole
He's burning
brand
through those
alive.
Deadwoods.
That whole line of cigars is just him.
To put boobs or ass with a cigar. That's all he needs.
Yeah, every time it works.
Drew Estate was like, you know what? How do we revitalize and retool the acid line? Throw some titties on it.
Pretty much.
Took off like a rocket. Come on, titty.
Come on, titties.
Yeah, you don't see acids like at all anymore.
Nah,
There's
man, that
still
shit
a whole
died.
bunch of them, but I don't see anyone smoking them. Granted,
They-
one of
they're
my
not
most popular videos is an acid cigar, but that's a lot of people clicking on to tell me it's a shit cigar, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's
thanks.
still such a big mover though because of all the convenience stores and the fact that you basically have to carry so many facings in order to get ligas. So
Yeah, and college students. Like
I was gonna say all the newcomers in college.
love that shit. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Totally.
smelled last year when I was at a wedding. I smelled one from across the yard, and I was like, "Hey, you smoking Cuba Cuba?" He's like, "No, it's an acid." I'm like, "Yes, I understand that, but you are smoking a Cuba Cuba."
Which one? Yeah.
Like I could tell from here exactly what you got in your mouth, man.
I'm not gonna lie though, those little croquettes, man, I enjoyed those.
Oh, I dig acid, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed
It's
those
fun.
croquettes.
I
That was nice.
I haven't tried all the weird shit, but they're good. Just don't smell them, because that's a turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about any of this stuff. Peter,
You said back,
It's
but
great.
Later
My
again,
brother, thank
Pete.
you, man.
See
good
your
to have
Peter.
you, man.
I'm gonna
Guys,
open
I
up the
know-
box tomorrow and text you.
It's absolutely. I know we're a
Dog,
couple
you-
minutes.
You're gonna
sorry,
lose your shit when you open that box, man. The shit that he sent me, I was like, God damn.
I anticipate, man. I was doing some private cocktail work for one of the brands yesterday, so I had like a 25-30 cocktail presentation. I had to bring all the stuff, so I had to pre-batch all of it the couple of days before, and like Pete was like, "Hey, your box is going to arrive today. Hey, your box is in the mailbox today." And like I was looking at the tracking, and I'm like, "Shit, it did get delivered." So I like ran over to the mailbox as I had all the stuff in the car because I didn't want it to cook all day, and I just like shoved it inside the house
Yeah.
and then took off. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to film this when I have time." And just,
For sure.
but I got home and I waited, and I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be
Dude.
crazy.
It's as nuts as you think and more.
Believe it.
If it's anything like he sent me, bro, you are in for it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I think I have 2 reviews of the cigars he sent in coming out, both rabbits. So that I finished editing this week, and then I got 3. I got the Aramas, the La Madonna Negra, and I think the Saber Tooth are the three I'm coming out most recently with.
Oh, the Roman Craft, nice.
Yeah.
I like that stick. I like that stick a lot.
What's
I
your
don't know
guys'
shit about-
opinion on Foundation?
The
Specifically, the
Olmec.
Olmec.
It's
the
trash,
Olmec,
man. I will never smoke Foundation. It's garbage. That's all bullshit. That's absolute bullshit.
No, the Olmecs are bomb. I love the Maduro. That's a fantastic cigar. I think, that was like my number 7 or 6 cigar of the year for 2022. Fucking just bomb.
Yeah.
It's
The only miss that they have for me right now is the fucking upsetter. That's the only one that I don't fuck with. That's it.
Haven't
Flavor.
tried that.
That's a
Flavor.
weird one. I haven't tried that yet, but it's interesting.
Love the Havana Sea Tabernacle, David and Goliath, man. Those are solid. Charter Oak.
You can go down the line. The Menelik, you can go down the line.
El Wawense is good in certain formats. The Metalink, I really did not care for, but I also like the only time that I smoked it was at Dion's shop in Reno, and it was like coming off of a 5 a.m. plane, and I felt like I needed to give it another like proper thing. I know that Matt didn't like it because it was a little bit too pepper heavy.
That cigar first thing after a flight. Fuck that. No thanks.
7 a.m. I had breakfast. 7 a.m. I had breakfast. 9:30 I was at his shop smoking, man.
Send me back home. I don't need that shit. Fuck, I love Foundation, but fuck that cigar. Never again. Most overrated cigar that everybody else loves.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think that we've hit that one in a minute.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people giving love to that Allegiance, the EP Korea Allegiance, the green band.
Really?
Yeah, like on Reddit. I've seen like post after post of people just like, oh, this cigar is amazing. Like, do you know where you can get more of these? Like,
Well, I guess I'll go most recent then. M81 by Drew Estate.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that cigar is great.
God.
Not according to
95.
Cigars Daily, audience.
Yeah,
95.
I went to that
95.
comment section expecting people to tear them up, and they were all praising that stupid fucking cigar. It was
That's
a
literally. That's the perfect definition of overrated, though. Like literally, they're overrating
100%.
that cigar.
Yes.
And that's just like
Yes.
it's so bought, man.
In
Oh,
this
Metallica,
can.
dude. This cigar is great. That shit is
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, and that's all the comments. It's exactly the cigar Metallica would put out. Like they didn't put out the fucking cigar; they just put their name on it.
Bro, the whiskey's slightly overrated. The cigar's heavily overrated. The band is slightly overrated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, some of their stuff is good. Some of their stuff is good, but the rest of it, and then the whole entire piracy thing, fuck them.
The fuck. Well, yeah, but like with Drew Estate, like the Undercrown 10 is worlds better than that fucking cigar.
Oh yeah,
100%.
oh yeah.
Easy.
H99 Robusto blows that out of the water too.
I mean, I hated the
Olmec.
H90 Robusto, but I agree with you. It blows the M81 out of the water.
Easy.
Oh
No way.
man. Yeah, fuck the M81. Fuck.
I was
that.
so disappointed. I was so disappointed, boys. I looked at my analytics, and as far as like the very best single cigar review that I have had published this year, was the M81.
Yeah.
It was like 2,000 views since it's been published, and I was just like,
Wow.
man, damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Michael, once again, I don't want to tell you what to do, but you got to fucking review that Bahique.
I know.
We talked about it last time. My stupid Cohiba Robusto whatever bullshit review has 6,000 views.
Well,
And
you
for
get
me-
1,000 views in a day, bro. Okay, you're
You
a
just
right.
For very specific cigars, maybe. But the Cohiba Robusto, like
I get it.
6,000, that's, I mean, for me, that's really good.
Yeah, especially with like the scarcity of Cubans right now. I mean, any Cuban that somebody reviews is going to take off for sure. And the Bahiki does have to happen. I just wanted to wait until it was a little bit cooler to where I could fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
And also too,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
and also too, so like I have 2 Bahikis in the same size. One of them is tattered, and I wanted to make one video around repairing that cigar, and with the cigar glue thing that I'm going to make, and then the other one on doing the review. Also, it gives me the opportunity after I shoot that repair video to smoke the one that's a little bit tattered and keep the one for a little while down the road that isn't. not that I need to hold on to it any longer, but you know what I'm saying. Like one can be shot
I get it.
as the thumbnail, the other one can, you know. The M81 still makes me feel sick talking about it.
I haven't even gone back to my own review. I have no idea what that like. I know I hated that review. I have no idea how many numbers it got. Like I haven't even looked back.
You were fasting. I have no idea how the fuck you did that, dude. On an empty
that's
stomach,
I
a
don't.
Churchill, a double Corona.
I don't know.
Bro, you cooked a steak for the red meat lovers, but you didn't eat at all for the M81.
What the fuck was I thinking?
Great point.
What the fuck was I thinking, bro? But honestly, it really wasn't like I didn't get cigar sickness from it. It just I didn't like it, and that's why I was like reacting to it, because I just didn't like it. Was just so fucking dark and bitter. It was like what am I doing?
Disgusting, man.
What am I doing?
know
with the
DJ's.
cigar, man?
I know DJ's answer to this question.
What other cigar reviewers' palettes do you look for? No one. I don't look for no one's palettes. I look for no one's palettes.
Honestly, man, I'm talking to the guys now. Honestly, for real.
Yep.
Like, I respect Stick God that was just on just a moment ago. He's new, he's getting into it, but I like what he's doing. But it's not really a lot more people out there that's really like catching my attention right now, honestly.
No, it's a small niche community, and like we're like 3/4 of it right here, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people who picked it up during the pandemic just quit.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
They just quit.
That's the crazy part.
I think that they thought they were going to take off faster than they did. I'm like, no, this is a slow burn of an industry for us. Like, there are people who've been doing this for 10 years and they barely got 12,000.
Yeah. And another one too, like, you know, when I'm looking through written articles for composition and blends of cigars, what I've noticed now since doing the channel and doing that every single week, every other day, or every 3 days, or however long it takes for me to check on cigars, what I'm noticing too is that on a lot of the written blogs, there's a lot of plagiarism. And it's something that I did not think was as prevalent as I've noticed, that a lot of people will steal word for word. And I'm not talking about flavors or palate notes. You know, some of them will just steal the story. So like you're looking for a blend composition and you're like, does that cigar really have Indonesian tobacco in it? And then you go and cross-reference it with another one. It's completely different. And then you realize that they stole it from this website. And you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know,
I like this cat that he's kind of like under the radar a little bit. Smoke What You Like. I don't know if you guys have seen his channel.
Yeah, he was
I like that
on
cat,
DJ
man.
Shut Up video. Yeah, he
was just on the cruise, right? Yeah. I watched
Yeah.
that. I watched
like
the
that
cruise
cat,
tour
man.
video. I like him too,
I
man.
like that
His
cat.
channel's growing a little bit. He's like at
Good,
at 900 or something?
Who's that?
Good.
Smoke What You Like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that
sub to
cat,
him.
man.
Yeah, so on my first Content Thieves video, Coop left a comment about that. Apparently, not just other reviewers, but companies will steal their full write-ups on a cigar and their pictures that they take for their reviews and just use it, like manufacturers. They'll just take it.
Romeo was nice enough
Made
to
myself
ask me
really
earlier
dark.
today if I was okay with them reposting the photo that I had taken of the Envy. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna post the Eternal today, coincidentally enough. I don't know if that's gonna look like something weird, but yeah, go right on ahead, repost it, like, you know. But
see, at least they reached out to you though. That's some cool shit,
Yeah.
man. At least they reached out. My wife used to write for like hip hop magazines and stuff like that a while back, and they were basically telling her to like, hey, just borrow from other people and just, you know, to make it faster so you get out more content. So I think that's what a
Right.
lot of these writers are doing, instead of like, you know, putting their own time and effort into, you know, getting the details and actually smoking the cigar. It's just like, hey, let me just go steal from other people and make this hodgepodge as my article. And that's what's happening, bro. And it's like part of the game. It's fucking crazy.
I actually have a copyright strike that I have to file or something. Somebody had republished one of my reviews on their channel, like the whole thing.
Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
and
that's
it
what I'm
came
talking
up.
about.
It came up like YouTube. It was like a brand new channel that had 8 subs on it or something like that, and it came up in the little copyright thing suggested by YouTube. You know,
Really?
And
Yeah.
I gotta. I gotta smack this young buck on the head.
Yeah.
Smack 'em.
Dude. Yeah.
Shouts
shit.
out Joshua. Thanks for that. You know, with those kind words, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
It's
thanks,
a lot
Thanks,
of work, man.
Josh. Josh was really cool, man. We got a chance to meet him at PCA too,
Dope.
It's
but
a
he's been on the
fucking
channel for a
blur.
while.
That day was a blur to me, man. Like watching that Jono's interview, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I said that? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, no clue.
Yeah, it was funny. Because I was taking little clips of everything, obviously. And I'm like, I gotta find a clip where Matt doesn't look like he's fallen asleep while talking to Joe to put in my video.
God damn.
There's a moment where you're staring directly at him. I was like, he's not even here right now.
No.
And then you snap back into it and started talking, and I was like, all right, cool, here we go.
He's
back,
there.
he's back. Welcome.
Yeah, he's awake. Fuck, man. Speaking of which, I was thinking next live we should get Joe on.
Sure.
Because-
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a cool guy. He's been at it for a few years, and he's, you know,
We're all gonna smoke the same cigar and talk about rubber garden hoses and wet concrete
All
and
that.
dry leaves.
I'm
that
getting-
man, his
I'm
palate,
getting dogwood.
his palate is freaking, because of his background in culinary. Like he has like the encyclopedia to where it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's impressive. It's really impressive. But I'm like, I can't even like fathom picking up with what you're picking up. Like he just has that encyclopedia in the back of his head.
Yeah, he posted the Crux Habano review today. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Hey man, Crux reached out to me, man. I saw it like right after they reached out to Matt, you know?
Nice.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And what's funny is like that video I did that YouTube won't post at all. The one that I did when I was licking the cigar, that was the Crux Habano. I didn't even realize it.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a good cigar though, man. I liked it. I thought it was good, man. I like the cigar.
It's a good cigar.
This is an interesting question. One last one, then we'll go. Is there anything you guys haven't been able to try that's high on your list?
That unicorn, I just got it thanks to Peter, man. I'm stoked about that. And I just had the Papasaka just a moment ago, so I kind of checked my list off right there.
That's dope.
So I've been looking forward to the new release in the Saka lines of the Don Dorma, the Golden Child.
I got that and the old one, so I'm gonna do a comparison with the two, man. I can't wait to see your review on that shit.
Speaking of weird reviews, right, or weird flavor notes, that Don Dorma, like I said, that it's like off the retro, it was like an ice cream sundae or something like that.
You said chocolate ice cream, I think, something like that.
Yeah, like it's the only cigar that's had that out of all the Le Carems and all the Petit Cerés and all that stuff, right? Like that one singularly has like that confectionery note that's so singular to just that blend. I'm looking forward to trying whenever I get my hands on it. So you're gonna really enjoy that, dude. On the retro, it's unreal.
I cannot wait, bro.
Yeah.
Is that the little cigar?
No, the
No,
polpetta
no.
is the Italian meatball or whatever.
Oh, okay.
That one doesn't really have as much going on to it, but it is just a LTO for that cigar shop. So
Gotcha.
Isn't that like a
Yeah.
Cuban sandwich or something too? Isn't it like a Cuban sandwich or something like that?
I believe that it translates to meatball, the polpetta.
Yeah, yeah, but
But
I
is it
think when he's
short
doing
filler?
A
that,
mix of short and long filler.
yeah, I think he's just
the
mixing
mix.
the whole.
Yeah. Cuban sandwich. Duh. I'm
Yeah.
like thinking of food still. I must be hungry.
Right.
Yeah,
High
What
on my
about you?
list.
What about you, Matt? What's on the list, man?
Yeah, man.
for me, I really always like with cigars. I always think when people ask me this, I always think about cigars I can't get anymore because that's what I want the most. What I can't have. Oliva, Oliva Special S. The Oliva
Yeah.
Special S. They stopped making it like 10, 12 years ago, maybe 14 years ago. I don't know. But that
I don't
cigar
remember that bad boy.
was fucking incredible. And it was so creamy, just such a beautiful cigar. I think all of them were like diademas as well. They're all figurados. I think they had one Churchill, maybe a Toro. But such a elegant, beautiful, creamy cigar. I wish with all the fucking limited editions coming out that people do now, and Oliva coming out with like a $300 cigar now, they can't bring back the Special S. Like, come on. So yeah, that's the cigar that I always wish I could get again. The Oliva Special S. Amazing smoke. Yeah. There you go. There's mine. What about you, DJ?
For the longest time, it was the American by J.C. Newman, but you handed me that at PCA, and I smoked it last week.
I just got that
was
too. Nice.
A good cigar.
Nice,
That also, that's coming up. I got that one too. Jerome sent that to me, so I'm hyped to try that one, man. Especially after what you were talking about, DJ. I'm ready for that one.
Yeah. Nice.
108-degree heat, which sucked, but it was still good, man.
108. God damn it, bro.
Yeah, that's commitment.
The guys,
I'm out here 35 degrees.
We are
that was
well
a long
past
ass
3
day.
hours. Guys, we are well past 3 hours. I really got to pee. So it's time to end the live stream.
Let's do it.
All right, brother.
And thanks to
I will
Jeremy
catch you guys on another.
thanks to Jeremy for joining us earlier. Thanks to everybody. I got to piss. See ya.
For sure.